Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is where you is. I'm Tom Connors. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. That's the show. Nothing has happened. Take care.
Have a good night.
Yeah, no news tonight. Thanks for being here.
Goodbye,
No,
everybody.
I'm just kidding, obviously.
Slow news day. Like nothing
Absolutely
happened at
slow
all.
news
Yeah.
day.
And
Like,
What's going on out there, guys? Nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, we were struggling to figure out what to talk about, chat. Just so you know, we were like, oh man, what are we gonna do about tonight? It's like we're having a show just to have a show.
It is. It really
Oh
is.
boy.
No, I'm just kidding. We, of
Even
course,
I
have
talked
some...
about it last night, and I never talk about new stuff because it was
We
it happened
got
like half an hour before I went on. Sorry, go ahead.
We've got some Henry Cavill stuff to discuss here, James Gunn. Someone actually has seen Avatar, The Way of the Water on the panel thus far. We're going to find that out. And another person has seen it who isn't here yet. So he's late and gay.
I know Jeremy loved it. Whatever it means.
Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers?
Yes.
No, there's no accounting for taste.
Yeah, I heard. I mean, I heard he said that.
Wait,
I haven't
what did he
seen his
say?
review.
What did he say
Loved
about
it.
it? Oh,
Just that he really loved it. That's again. I heard they were talking about that on the drinker stream or something like that a little earlier.
Oh, the open bar, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him.
take that for what it's. Yeah. I want to hear what Six says about it later. I can't wait.
Yes, agreed.
Mike, I don't know about. I don't know if I trust him. Just kidding, Mike. Where are you, dude?
Well, that was
I
a
can't wait
spoiler
to
because that
hear
was
it.
her intro. Was the individual who has seen it, of course, is Six. Welcome back to the program, Six. How you been?
I have been better, but I've been worse.
Curly fries.
But
Just think
I
of the
have-
curly fries.
Curly
I
fries.
have, yes, the epic curly fries. I got lots to say about the curly fries later on.
Nice. Hope they had cheese.
There's
Where's
a little
this
twist. That came with
Lots
curly
of
fries.
cheese.
Did you put
Where's
cheese
No,
on
no
there?
cheese.
Six. Where's this super chat from that you just sent me here?
It came. I checked as soon as I got out of the theater. I checked the stream because I knew you weren't there to, or I knew I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
because it's
to,
not showing up on my other end here. That's why I was curious.
It came in. I mean,
Way early before the show.
wait, maybe it came into a different stream.
Oh, because yeah, I'm not seeing it on my end. Either way, I mean, he is here, so we'll address it. But we'll get to that just after intros here. Script Doctor is here as well. How are you doing up in Canada? I got more snow today. Did you?
We only got rain and a little bit of snow, but
It
I'm
was
doing
snow-
great.
it was raining
otherwise.
yesterday.
It's a bit warmer out, so I mean because we can have some rain and not just snow. So I'm doing pretty good in that regard. I was barraged today with not just a number of phone calls, but also emails and texts about all the Christmas plans that are laid before me over the next 10 days. It's gonna be nuts.
Interesting. Also joining us tonight, we got two men on the bottom row here who are wearing hats. It's like a father and
true.
son duo.
Men with hats.
You're right. I'm basically
This is
Diet
my
Clubby.
Nick, I'd be
Yes.
proud to be your pappy.
We got
Yes.
Clever in Times. How you doing, brother?
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it. Hello,
Glad to
everybody
have
out
you.
there in the chat and my fantastic friends on the panel. I think we
Yes,
can find
indeed.
something to talk about tonight.
And then we also have his son, the adorable Clobby Jr.
Hello, chat.
I'm kidding.
Mods.
Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Hello, chat. Hello, mods. Hope you are all well. All 300 plus of you. Thank you for being here right away.
Yeah.
As I said at the beginning, there's definitely nothing to talk about tonight, but we'll figure out. We'll get by together through this therapeutic episode of uneventfulness. Yeah, happy to be here. Clobby, Script 6, Tom. Nice to see all you here. I'm ready to get this show rolling because this is gonna be a panel for the ages, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hello, chat. Hello, mods.
Here we are talking
At
New
Midnight's
God.
Edge.
That didn't really work, but it works.
You
for me.
guys suck. That was terrible.
It was. And
But Six
evidently,
made it
I can't
better,
get
didn't
any motherfucking pussy.
Oh,
But
Wow.
he gets the Dix division, and that counts for a lot.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I get a midget for Christmas. That's all I care.
I hope so too, dude. I laughed
but you
so
asked for a
hard
male
in
midget.
that song last night.
What was that about?
But, well, wouldn't it be weird if it was a... Yeah, well, I'm not getting into all that.
It would be weird.
Yeah, because, like, you know... I've heard they
weird enough.
bounce.
What?
But, I heard they bounce.
What happened?
Am I here?
I'm doing a lot
I
of
don't know.
clickety, click, click, click.
Click, 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 click. Okay, we got this. I don't know where it comes from, Stony D, but he sent it to us.
Stony D.
Because it's not showing up on my thing here, but if it did come in earlier, it did come in through the StreamYard, and fucking StreamYard is broke. Stony D says, if Henry is out... Who is typing? What is
Not
going
me.
on here?
I don't know.
He's never given his proper chance to actually play Superman. I do not trust Gunn on this point. Oh well, saves me money, I suppose. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Very good. I understand that. I know where it's coming from. Really do.
Yeah. He never really did. That's
He never
like,
got a chance to
honestly,
play real Superman. He's a good casting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part that bothers me the most too. And I mean, really, like I said it to the other day, I'm like, I can't believe they would do that after announcing him and all that kind of stuff. And then script actor's like, oh, they would too. And he's right. I guess I got to give James. Look, do I envy him right now? Fuck no. He's taking a lot of heat. And but I got to give him credit for saying, you know what? I'm gonna go for the gusto here. We're gonna rebuild from the ground up.
If he wasn't forced to do this in the first place.
I don't think he was, because I think
maybe
that
not.
the things that I was hearing, and this is why I say this, the things that I was hearing was coming more from like the Zaslav and Mike DeLuca camp, and that's kind of where they were at. They thought they could still salvage some of this. I think that's what Gunn come back in and said, you can't salvage this. It's the well's poisoned. You can't sit here with a you know.
Yeah, but look at all the good
Try
vibes
to
they got
filter
when Cavill announced a couple months ago.
They did, and that's why I
They got
can't
a lot of
believe
good
it.
press over it. So
And
clearly, people were willing to give him another shot.
Well, here's the other part too. It did not translate to a big enough box office haul for Black Adam to justify further investment.
No,
It
but he
didn't
was
cross
barely in
400
Black
million
Adam.
worldwide.
But when he made the announcement, it came out to very good vibes. Everyone thought, okay, everyone was willing to give him a good shot at it, and no one was out there, yelling and screaming about it when he said he was coming back. Even people like me who hate the Snyderverse think he was a good casting. Okay, good. It'll be good to see him play the role. So it's not like they don't know from a couple of months back that people were well disposed towards him and were really willing to give him a chance to play the character.
No, this all just
I
happened.
don't dispute with that, but there's also what happened?
We just lost Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick.
I don't dispute that. What I do suspect, because again, Zaslav is a numbers person.
He'll be back.
They probably went back through all of Henry Cavill's last few projects, because he hasn't really led something solo for about 4 years.
Yeah.
They probably did the math, and they realized that, yes, well, he has a very supportive and vocal social media following. The numbers just don't show it in the box office yet. And they also think that because he does work with a lot of big ensemble casts, and he only has 2 movies coming out in the next year, which is Highlander, which is still in pre-production, and Argyle, which just finished wrapping, and it's coming out on Apple Plus.
That implies Zaslav rather than Gunn, from what you're making it sound.
I suspect that Zaslav was probably had that data and said, can we make this work with Superman? And James Gunn probably said, and I kind of mentioned a little parallel before the show, which is you probably could, but doing so is kind of like dating a girl after she just broke up with her boyfriend. You can still smell the stink. Give him time to shower, clean up, and recover from that disaster. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had an option that says, this is what we can do to try and salvage what we have. This is how much it'll probably cost, or we can start fresh, which would be the smartest thing to do, which is the thing that I've been saying for months anyways. And it looks like that's the direction they went, and I'm all for it, because James Gunn has already publicly stated it's not going to be an origin film. I would not be surprised, since he's been doing a lot of references to Superman the movie, that he's looking for an actor who's probably between the ages of 24 and 27, so that 10-year plan will end when he's in his mid to early late 30s.
He already said what it's
another
going to
10
be
years
about.
afterwards, and it not have a big issue on the age wise.
He said it's going to be about Clark when he's a cub reporter and when he met Lois, met Jimmy, and all the other gang, basically.
He says they've already met. He says his story has them. They've already met.
I thought he said that's what it was going to be about them meeting.
Nope. He said it was. He said they're not meeting. He's not going to be reintroduced to the main characters in his story. That's what he said.
Well, we'll see.
We will see. Yeah.
But I'm just saying
we'll
that it's a bad optic doing it this way. You should have never let the guy announce he was going to be doing it in the first place. That was really,
here's the
really
other part
idiotic.
too. I will say this. I don't think it was Warner Brothers that gave him the okay to announce it the way he did. I think that was because it feels, I always said it felt weird. Then that's because it was most likely an actor's campaign coordinated by The Rock, Danny Garcia, and Henry Cavill was brought on board to say these things to try and imply that there's a future with Henry Cavill as Superman to try and solidify that future would be put to contract. And it's something that actors have done before. And Warner Brothers had no problem with it because it coincided with the promotion of Black Adam. So why would they object to it? But the fact of the matter is that they made their petition, and Warner Brothers and the Planet B says, well, you made the petition. It didn't work out numbers-wise. We love you. James Gunn has made many positive remarks about Henry Cavill, and he has possibly ideas for him to still be working with Warner Brothers in the DC universe in the future in a different capacity. And that's just it. It's not like they knew. They probably Warner Brothers probably suspected, like, we're either going to continue this or do a cold reset. Either way, we can't announce it until we know what James Gunn is going to present. And so it's not like they can go to Henry and be like, yeah, don't tell them you're not Superman yet. That's stupid. You're in a cameo. Just go say what you want to say. It's fine. It's true to a degree.
Well, didn't he? I'm sorry.
Because listen, actors don't really have to clear things with studios unless studios are really, really up their ass about it. And Warner Brothers was not up Henry's ass in any way, shape, or form.
But wasn't the studio the one who told him to say that he was
According
back?
to him, it was.
Was it
According to
Dwayne
him.
Johnson and Danny
He was
Garcia
allowed to-
who told him to?
It
No, it
most
was
likely
according to
them
him,
because
Warner
it's part of the
Brothers.
promotion. It's
Okay.
According to him, it's Warner
I know what
Brothers, so
script is saying, but according to him, he specifically said Warner Brothers.
he did.
He said, I have the quote in front of me, after being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest. So he should have waited until he signed a contract.
But here's the
before
thing,
announcing
right? It's that's all related to Black Adam. It's not related to DC films or DC universe. That's how its studio thinks. And that's the problem. Like everybody, even myself, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. He's coming back." But then
I get what you're saying.
thinking,
I think at that time they
doesn't
weren't
make
totally
sense.
fucking sure what was happening at. Because at that time, we didn't even know that James Gunn was taking over the DC universe till the same
You're
fucking
right.
time the movie was coming out. So
You're
at this
right.
point, I don't
But-
think anybody knew, and that's where I got this up on screen with Warren G says, yes, I hadn't heard anything about Cavill being out. This all took me by surprise, and anybody I asked about it's by
I
surprise.
think it took Cavill by
It sounds
surprise
like it
also.
all happened yesterday.
No,
from the
I
sound
think
of what James Gunn's saying
No,
and
no.
everything like that.
Hold on,
so.
Tom. I guarantee you it all happened officially yesterday. But from Warner Brothers' perspective, if they already wine-dined in 69 James Gunn prior to the release of Black Adam, they were probably expecting that there's going to be some changes and things. And so they had no problem with any sort of advertisement that could be easily approached with regards to Black Adam. So that means that whatever Henry, Danny Garcia, and The Rock imply doesn't mean it's factual or not. It's all
Okay.
they just look at it as Black Adam. And that would be subject to change if whatever plan James Gunn and Safran presented would have. I mean, there's a reason we hadn't heard anything that Henry Cavill signed anything. Only James Gunn knows for sure. All of this stuff reminds me of around the early 2000s, before I was just starting in there, when you had all these actors lobbying to play Batman, and they would do all these press releases and they do all these interviews saying, "I want to be Batman." I remember Freddie Prinze Jr. annoying the hell out of everybody, saying that he wanted to be Batman in Darren Aronofsky's Batman project. It's basically a stunt campaign to maintain a role. That's what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if they did get a huge, huge response and that translated into dollars for Black Adam, you could have bet your bottom dollar that Zaslav would be like, "What do you mean you give me a story where we don't get to use Henry Cavill as Superman? Forget it. Bye. Give me something else." But he didn't.
Here's something else I want to address on that note. No, Gracie Randolph was not right. She just happened to make an educated guess on something, or somebody told her something. Nobody else knew this shit. Anybody's trying to claim that I am so sick of the scoop peddling over DC that I've seen in the last few months, There's even some people that I highly respected that I lost a lot of respect for over the past few months. Grace Randolph is worse than a broken clock because she's barely right once a day, let alone twice.
Yep.
And guessing doesn't fucking count. Like that's the thing is any of these people that were claiming they knew shit before the other day are full of shit. Because James Gunn just came back this week from Aspen. This was everything that we've been hearing for months, what was going on. Now we're just finally getting an idea of what's going down. So like anybody, and I know Van Helsing, you're probably joking here, so I'm not like directing this at you. So I just don't want you thinking I'm like, oh, he's like, fuck, man, I pissed him off. No, but that's the thing is, I've had some Grace fucking stands come after me today. I've had the Batman stands coming after me all week. Before that, it was the Snyderites when I tried to tell people don't get so attached to the Snyderverse. That's
I remember that.
Like,
oh yeah, that was never coming back.
And even then, I even hedged it with there may be some of these actors returning. Some might be coming back in different roles. A lot of them probably won't be. Because we were hearing Reset then, and I'm like sitting here thinking, dude, you just hit the fucking nuke button here. And Script's right at this point. Like, at first I was resistant to this, but I'm like, because you are right in the sense that it is like basically taking somebody's sloppy seconds. The well's already poisoned. You can't really work with that. But at the same time, and this is where I understand everybody's frustration, if you have Henry Cavill as Superman, that's where you can hit the ground running as long as people understand that this is a different thing than what they had gotten before. But that is a very difficult thing to do. So Script is right. The easiest way to move forward is for James to be able to have complete creative control. He cannot have anything left over from Zack Snyder or the Hamadaverse. In fact, I think nothing is safe. Even his shows are pretty much like, this is it. The second season of
Peacemaker's
probably it.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of those shows we heard about getting announced are going to end up getting shit rather than Penguin.
Shuffled or retooled for whatever. I mean, here's the other part that's kind of really, really important. And that is that anything that James Gunn did for the existing DC stuff was already hampered by the stigma of the previous regime. So there's nothing you can do about that. And it's really, and the other part too is that he did something better than what other studios have ever done. He actually had a one-on-one in-person conversation with Henry Cavill. He didn't just release in the trades and say, hey, this isn't happening. And he found out that he's not going to be Superman
through the internet.
He heard it from the horse's mouth. And on top of that too, James Gunn even said that he's got a future with DC films. It may not be a Superman, which is fine because I have a project I've been pitching for 5 years that, technically I pitched it before the pandemic hit. So I guess that hasn't occurred in 3 years, but it'd be perfect for Henry. Exactly up his alley, exactly what he can do. Definitely embody the things and love of the fandoms and his personality as well. So there's always that opportunity. I mean, I don't see it having any negative impact on any other DC stories either. So now I've got this guy. I can probably reach out to him and be like, hey, listen, do you want to do this thing? Do you want to pitch it? And if he goes yes, then we're good. And if he goes no, then it's no big deal. But he was told by the head of DC Films, listen, we're going in a different direction. I'm sorry, we're not going to be using you as Superman anymore. You did great. You had a shot. It's tragic that you never got to really play the character. But this is the nature of the game. This is business. And I'm telling you it so that you hear it from me and not from a trade that's going to misquote me, misrepresent, or do what Variety has done the last couple of days with the Matt Reeves stuff. So, I mean, that's better treatment than Gina Carano got with Star Wars.
Yeah,
that is true.
Howard got
I
with
can't
Iron
believe
Man
I'm
2.
saying that.
It is,
that is
and at
true.
the same time, look, and this is why I believe this all just happened within the last 2 days or last day or so. Because they would never have gone through all that shit they did in October, regardless, any of that. Like, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is all this is like fresh snow right now. Zaslav just heard this plan, and evidently, for this to have happened, whatever plan it was that Gunn came to with him, he was on board with it.
Yep.
And part of that meant going with a completely different Superman, which is along the lines of what I'd heard. Zaslav said Superman's a big deal. He backed that up. He has said that I heard that he had said that he would like to have Henry Cavill back, But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. He just wants somebody to cover the next 10 years. And that's when I first started hearing about the 10-year plan. So this still falls in all that category. So, I mean, clearly James Gunn knows Superman is what he needs to kick off this new universe. He's been working on that for the last month or so. That's going to be the first movie that probably swings into massive production. He's already said he doesn't think he's going to direct or doesn't know if he's going to direct it. He's been talking to some other directors. I know some people are trying to put Ben Affleck on there. I don't think he's going to have Ben Affleck directed. But basically,
But he could direct something else, though.
Yes,
Ben Affleck doesn't have to.
but
do
I also-
Batman or Superman.
I also don't think James is going to direct Superman. He's going to be too fucking busy, and it's not in his wheelhouse.
yeah,
No,
it's
he'll
not
get
going
like
to
a
happen.
story by credit at the bare minimum. Producer credit, story by credit, bare minimum is what he would get for the new Superman film.
Yeah, that sounds applicable.
Yeah.
I actually see that. Here's the thing. I don't even see James Gunn, even if he opened up time and turned on other directing parts, I don't see him attaching himself to Superman in a directorial space. I think he's going to hand it off to someone else. Maybe even he knows he's not right to direct a character. I mean, we can all say what we will about him, but I think even he knows this is not the right character for him to direct. Because we all see what his shtick is, and it's not of the traditional, I guess you could say, American superhero characters. It's definitely of the weirder, more out there, grandiose type of characters.
I hate social media, and I can't figure out how to use Twitter. But so I was looking for the quote that, where Script and I were having a disagreement with earlier, and I still haven't found that, let alone.
What,
trying to find
the
one.
origin stuff?
Yeah, but then also I'm
Yeah,
trying
I'll
to
pull it
find the
up.
one that we're just talking about right now. Okay, here's this. Is this an origin? No way. Okay, I think I found it actually.
Oh,
This is met with Ben yesterday. Okay. Because he does say, he's writing, but he doesn't know who will direct. So to me, that sounds like he doesn't plan on directing it, or he probably would have alluded to that, I think. But anyway, I hate using Twitter. I can't find shit. All I find is everybody's responses to him. Anyway, so Henry wrote in. Let's get to this real quick. He wrote, I think this was first on TikTok, Instagram, one of those things.
Instagram.
He goes, I've just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, he says right there, by the studio. Prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. See, as he said here, this is also something that came about before Peter Safran and James Gunn were even in the picture. The changing guard is something that happens, and I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he set for us are still here. They're still there, sorry. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride, and with you all, onwards and upwards. So there you go. That's what Henry had to say about it yesterday. James has talked some more about it. He talked about their meetings and some stuff like that. So what do we got here? Okay, so you guys found me some. All right.
Script found it first.
All script.
Okay.
Dig away.
This isn't the one I was talking about because he actually mentions them by name.
Okay.
He says Lois and the Cub Reporter bit. That's the one I'm talking about.
Well, he says he's not meeting the major characters for the first time either. He's merely younger. Lois Lane, Barry White, those are major characters.
I guess, but I swore I saw it yesterday where he said he's going to be a Cub Reporter and about first meeting them. But you both just sent me the same link. Looks like here. Or, I don't know. I got like 10 windows open now.
Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't stress it if it's that much. I mean, we could go off. We have a lot
Remember,
to go off of just of what we know.
There's
I
2,000
know, it's
replies
like
on James
fucking
Gunn's
crazy.
thread where people are asking him about this. So it's
I'm
kind of
That's
tricky to
insane.
sit through it all.
Yeah, I'm actually amazed he responded to as much as he did. He could have swore he probably just would have written the his tweets and then just not even look at any of the mentions or notifications. In fact, even respond to them.
And then for some reason, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter had to put in there that the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman is still in active
why is
development, I guess. I think that was a complete out of left field. No good reason to put it in there. Somebody has got look. Andre is right.
Called Bad Robot and asked a question. And they got
somebody that just tells me maybe whoever leaked it may have connections with Bad Robot. Or well, you could be right too, Script, but I'm just saying.
Bad reboot.
Because this is the thing. I think Andre is right. They are doing everything they can right now, and this is why I said the other day, how can you make everybody panic all at once? Well, that's how. And basically, right now, anybody who can do anything to make Zaslav look bad and now James Gunn look bad, they're gonna do it. And if you can throw in there that Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman thing is still happening, even though we've heard it from every fucking source you can think of that everything J.J. Abrams is dead over at Warner Brothers. In fact, they are even pulling Westworld from HBO Max.
Yep.
so that tells me they are cleaning house with them.
Nolan thing as well.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason for that script is I think they're going to shop it around somewhere else because I think they had another season in mind that HBO's like, no, we're good.
No, they've cut everything, is my understanding.
Yeah, they've cut everything to JJ. And in fact, that's why even though he's attached to producing Constantine, that was a gimme for killing his Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
Or he has to contractually be attached to it just to produce or whatever.
I haven't heard anything that doesn't paint JJ in the situation where literally Warner Brothers is just not answering his calls and hanging him out to dry. Just waiting it out.
I have heard that he is pretty much persona non grata at every studio but Apple and Paramount right now. Like nobody else wants anything to do with him. But that's just what I heard.
Yes. What are you looking for, Tom?
I don't know. Six just sent me something about The Witcher. Was there anything good in here?
Oh, it's from this Variety article.
Yeah, about Henry Cavill.
I posted the quote right above it.
Oh, okay. Oh, insiders told Variety that Gunn's script will focus on Superman's life as a cub reporter in the fictional city of Metropolis. Audience will encounter him meeting key characters like colleagues Lois Lane because Gunn's Superman is younger and there was never. That's what I thought he said.
No, this isn't this isn't Gunn saying it. This is an insider telling Variety that what they think they heard from Gunn.
But I swear he used the same term, and that's what he was talking about: is meeting all the like Jimmy Olsen and Lois as a cub reporter. I could have sworn.
I don't know.
I'm
searching through his Twitter.
I can't find it. I just hate it when I can't find shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, if you want, I will mute myself and I will dig this up for you.
No, it's fine.
But either way, I mean,
listen,
if he's already Superman and he's still as a reporter, it's not an origin story, which is fine by me. I'm happy with that.
That's what I was
Gunn
thinking.
Did tweet to somebody that it's not going to be an origin story.
Yeah, he's been saying that, but
sounds a little origin-y in some ways, though.
It's his origin in Metropolis, is what it sounds like, not Smallville.
Right.
I mean, I could see why Klobby would think so, but to me, to involve the origin, to me, you would have to do the whole 9 yards. The plan of Krypton, being a baby, being in Smallville.
Origin-y, not so much like
full origin. I know. No, okay. I thought you meant full origin. Because I can see why you would think so.
If they're doing a story where it's centered around Superman, Lois Lane has named Superman, and he's been around Metropolis, cited Metropolis for many months. No one's landed the exclusive yet. That's the story that the movie's around, and that's still fine.
That is very fine. That's
pretty much what I figured. Yeah. It's probably going to be a lot like Superman the movie, and that's probably
except for that chunk before he becomes Superman. Just kind of going to leave that out.
Just the part. Yeah, just the part where Lois and him's romance blossoms.
Yeah, sounds like so.
I really hope his suit's made by his mom. I don't want another alien, stupid Slytherin suit.
We don't need alien technology or
not a chance.
We'll have to let me do quotation marks. Alien technology, but it really looks like everyone went to the same Target to get their outfits.
Have a nice baby blanket cape with the gold House of L emblem on the back.
I hope so, but I wouldn't get your hopes up on them.
A man can dream.
It's a lot easier story-wise to say it's alien, and that way you don't have to worry about any of the.
It was a nice touch at the beginning of that Superman and Lois show, which said that when he had that Golden Age costume, and the guy said nice costume. He said, "Thanks, my mom made it for me. We're not going to get that."
I love that. That was amazing.
That was a low-hanging fruit scene, but nice.
Nice.
But
scene.
no, I want to see a Superman suit that can get torn and tattered, and I mean,
That's what they don't want. Script. That's what I'm
Why?
saying. It's too difficult to deal with later on.
in what regards?
Special effects cost too much.
What are you talking about? They make 20 costumes on a movie a day anyway.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's too much logical shit you got to think about.
Like what?
We're lucky if they get even close to the real costume at this.
Yeah,
We're lucky if they get even close to the real costume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've about had it up to here with plain CGI suits. These actors get paid millions and millions of dollars. Come on, put on a damn
Let's see what
suit.
the audience is saying. Dearest sent us a super sticker.
Hey.
Let's see what it is here. I bet you it's a thumbs up or a popcorn. I can't see what it is. So thank you for that, Dearest. Appreciate that. And then we've got the Walt man who says, and the Black Superman film is still apparently on. Yeah, we just talked
Sorry,
a
I
little
was
bit about
muted. I was screaming. It's a mustache. It's a mustache.
that. It's a mustache. Thank you. It's
Sorry.
Paulie's mustache. He stole Paulie's mustache. The Black Superman is still apparently. Again, I don't think this is going to. We'll see the Michael B.
think so.
Jordan Superman Cal-Zod's probably before we see the other one, I bet. To me, that felt like out of left field. From nowhere, like why is this even in this report? Like, it's
Indeed, Ironcaster.
to do with anything.
Oh, that would
What did
be
he
terrible
say?
if they did jeans.
You're right, Ironcaster. That's what they're probably
Oh
doing.
no, not
Just-
that Superboy again.
Like Grant Morrison dribble.
Ugh.
Ugh,
Camelback
yeah.
Killer says, I liked Avatar. If AV2 is like AV1, I'll like it. Well, hopefully Mikey can make it. He's in traffic. Because I'd like to hear him and Six discuss it.
Yes, he's swimming
A
back
little
through that water.
Especially if we disagree.
Yeah,
That'd
I'd
be
love to hear you two if
great.
you disagree.
Point counter.
Then we got, so we'll get to that shortly here. AF Watcher says, so at least DC's final kick to the nuts was sooner than later. Any chance the recast will look at least and fit the part? Well,
No
we don't know
chance.
yet. We'll
It's a
find
chance,
out.
though. He said, any chance? Yeah, there's a chance.
It's a
I
better chance than we
think-
had before.
I think that Script's right that Gunn is going to take a lot of inspiration from Superman the movie, and one thing that they did there was make sure that they found somebody who was Superman. You didn't necessarily associate him with anything else, and maybe that's part of the reason why, I mean, even though Henry's too old for what they want to do, that could be another reason why they don't want that. They think that Henry's just too big for the character now, or beyond the character, and he needs to go do his own thing because people see Henry when they see the character, not Superman. Because for the longest time, that's the way most people saw Christopher Reeve. He was Superman. Like,
Played him
I mean-
in 4 movies.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, he tried to do other things, but he was so
Yeah.
well known as Superman when he first came into the scene that
That happens.
he kind of got pigeonholed in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what
He
a role to
tried.
get pigeonholed into.
Oh, and he wore it with pride.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he,
Yeah,
you know, especially later in life, he really definitely, because he was even on Smallville and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. We won't know yet. I have a feeling it'll be a lot like that. And what I mean is, you cast your side characters in certain authority figures or whatever you call it. Like the Pa Kent and Jarrell are usually name actors.
Superman's
Sometimes-
tricky. You got to get a guy who looks that way and it looks the part and can act. And they got lucky with Christopher Reeve. And yes, even though I hate the Snyder stuff, Cavill can act. But it's not as easy as you think. Finding, you might go, hey, that guy looks just like Superman, but can he act?
Yeah, the look isn't enough. There's a lot of layers to a performance like the character of Superman.
Definitely go check out
Yeah.
the making of Superman, where they show all the test screenings for all the test. What do you call
Yep.
it when they were
Well, Reeve
testing for the role?
was
test?
skinny. Reeve was skinny when he
Screen
got it.
test,
They thought
yeah.
that guy could, you
Yeah.
know, pick up some pounds.
All
and
the
look
other
like it.
screen tests that they did for Superman, and none of them were
Yeah.
even close. Like the moment though, and Mankiewicz is right. You can tell the moment when he jumps down off that terrace and says, "Good evening, Miss Lane." He's
Mhm.
fucking Superman. Like
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's it right there. He
Yeah.
whatever it is you need, he's got it.
Let's get him to the gym. Let's get him fed. Let's get him bulky.
Yeah, because the other guys are like, just way off, doing like George Reeves and serial kind of
they were-
acting, and
They were acting opposite because I can't remember the woman's name, but the woman who was playing Lois in the screen test was acting like the 1950s, very flamboyant Lois Lane. And all the other screen test actors were acting opposite that. Reeves wasn't. He was just doing Superman the way he interpreted it. And he wasn't trying to play into the tone that the person he was reading off
Ann
of,
Archer?
reading against him. I think maybe it was, yeah.
I think it was Ann Archer, but I can't remember. Yeah. But George Reeves could act too, but he was playing a very sly, understated Superman. But he was actually a good actor too.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
he
think
was a
she
good
was
actor.
she
He
was
was a Clark
almost
Kent with a
Lois. I think you're right. I think it's Ann Archer. She was almost Lois because she's in most of the screen tests.
Yeah.
But she
Until
plays
they
it
get to
very
Christopher
animated.
Reeve.
And then she did a
And then-
superhero movie with John Ritter. That's right.
And then they got Christopher Reeve, and once they decided that he was there, I think they didn't like him and Anne's screen test, which is partially what they use in the Donner cut. And then he started testing with a bunch of women, and that's when they finally found Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
And Richard
Reeve
Donner
was
said
only 24 when he auditioned. He was 26 when he finished playing the part.
but Margot, he said she come in the room and tripped and fell flat on her fucking face because she was wearing cowboy boots. And she walks in, she goes, "Hi, I'm Lois Lane," and fell on the floor.
That would not happen
He said,
at all.
"Hi, I'm Lois Lane. I'm playing Margot Kidder." Wham! I mean, I'm Margot Kidder playing Lois Lane. He said she shot up off the floor like nothing happened.
Actually, that's a very Lois Lane type of thing to hide the embarrassment.
I just wonder what drugs she was on.
Oh god, big Quaalude here and there.
Yeah, Margot wasn't too big on that choice, to be perfectly honest. They could have been
Yeah,
better,
but her chemistry with Reeve
She was
works
good
for
actress,
some
but-
reason. You know what she does? She
It
gets
worked
that.
okay.
She is one of the only Loises until maybe Hatcher, where I really felt like, she was a real reporter, right? Like, 'cause
Right.
I loved the way she would play this getting distracted by shit. You know what I mean? Kind of like how a doctor and a mad scientist in all the old movies would just get distracted with whatever they were doing. I love when she would do that when she gets distracted by Superman and whatever story she's writing in the movies. That part of her, just her tenacity. She just has that attitude and that way of her. Like, is she the beauty queen version of Lois Lane? Fuck no.
No, definitely
She's
not.
the tomboy version of Lois Lane, right? And Superman is the only man who could bring the woman out in her, and that's why it works.
But she was supposed to be so much younger than him because she was a little girl on the train, but she don't look younger than him. But other than that,
No, well, Margot Kidder was like 5 years older than Reeve.
yeah.
But I mean, that I think is the bigger deal. Why some people don't like her because
She was fine. I mean,
she is a bit butch, but I think that's on purpose because, like I said, it's Superman is the first man who actually, because I love that scene with her. She's like a little schoolgirl. Remember, she's all like, and shit like that. Nobody else can do that to Lois Lane.
Right. True.
This one tough broad, like
Army brat.
Indeed.
Exactly, Army brat, all that business. But let's see what else is going on here. We've got Christian Delorme, who's been a member for 8 months. It's a maximum effort puppy level. Sorry. Shout out to the panel and cheers. For everybody.
Christian
knows
Delorme.
my name. Termination 2011 says Den of Nerds was right. Gunn didn't like Cavill. I don't know about that.
I call BS on that.
There's no precedence for it. They've never worked together.
I also question
How
a
did they
lot.
know, anyway?
I question a lot that comes out of the Den of Nerds because I've seen them in various behind-the-scenes documentaries, or at least representatives that are from there, and every single one of the representative gets stuff wrong, obvious stuff wrong. It's like they've got only like the fan perspective; they don't actually have any real behind-the-scenes stuff. Like the Icons on Earth documentary about Star Wars and Marshall Lucas. All the stuff that their pundit that was brought in there says is stuff that has been debunked and not entirely accurate and has been known for decades. So that's my take on them. So
Not too familiar with them, but
yeah, I don't see. There's no precedence. There's no real precedence for it.
I think
it's
you
just
gotta
rumor mongering, basically.
It's rumor mongering, and I think we also gotta take. I mean, I know this is not easy for many people, and I get it, but I think you gotta take how you feel about James Gunn and how you feel about Henry Cavill, and just see the situation for what it is, not just he did because he doesn't like Henry. I don't think that's completely accurate. I think once again, it was obviously not an ideal move going off of what we know at face value. But if he really was looking for a younger Superman, I get it. I really do. So you gotta try to do your best to look at it objectively as much as you can, rather than think about it with the fan lenses.
Well, and here's the other part too. People like Henry Cavill more than they liked the Superman.
The Superman himself,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because even if you have
And that's
another
where,
if you have another actor who comes in and they're interviewed about what they're going to take away from Superman, they might only talk about Henry Cavill in regards to his charm with the fans, because there's nothing on film of Henry Cavill as Superman that you can actually quote or use or draw as inspiration for regards to the character, like you could with Brandon Routh, Christopher Reeve, George Reeves, heck, even Dean Cain has better Superman moments than anything Henry Cavill was given, because unfortunately Henry Cavill was robbed of his ability to play the role because he had bad direction, bad scripts, and bad studio decisions being made for him. That's the sad nature of the thing. He made an impact on us as Henry Cavill more than he did as Superman. That's the truth.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. It is a tragedy. We'll never get a proper Superman starring Henry Cavill, because I truly believe
a cartoon.
Oh yeah, no, hey, and that is a bright side of it. There is opportunity for him down the line. I don't think he'll take up anything right away, because I'm sure he's definitely crushed by this news himself. But time does heal most wounds, and I think should the right opportunity come back for him to come back to Warner Bros., I do truly believe he'll do it. Once this all cools down, he'll come back for something. If they offer to him, he's gonna do it. He's gonna. There's no way he's just not gonna come back.
He might not, but
I don't know.
It's one of those situations where, like Doomcock has said that he had heard something about it being financial. It could be, but these are all brand new contracts. So unless it was like an impasse to where Cavill wanted more than they were willing to pay him, maybe, but I don't think it's that. It clearly sounds like James Gunn come out of his retreat with an idea, and I think Script's right. I think he watched Superman the movie a half a dozen times, and he's like, this is what I want to do. And he keyed in on that bit, and he's going to see that as his launching pad for the DC universe going forward. And we're going to get all new. I guarantee we're going to get all new. Then it makes no sense if you've got Henry fucking Cavill and certain other people, and you're not going to go forward with just him. Then it's just dumb.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? That makes me think that, like, obviously it makes the Not Flash movie and the Aquaman sequel and the Blue Beetle movie. It kind of makes those movies don't matter. I mean, that's not to
what's
say that
odd
Ava will
about
be good.
this.
Yeah, it's
right,
so weird
Nick,
to see these knowing that they're not going to matter at all.
It's going to kill their box office. And that's what I don't get about this. This felt like a really weird move right now.
Yeah,
like, why do this now?
I think they knew their box office was doomed anyways. They're like,
you could be right, Script, after Black Adam. Yeah,
I think they knew it was doomed, and I think they said, you know what? People are going to want to know what's happening. They're going to want to invest. Let's be honest with them, or at least to a degree, be honest with them about the studios. We're not going to get the money we want on these 4 films. Let's have the fans decide to choose what they want to do with their money, save their money, and if they like our first trailer for a Superman film after all this kerfuffle's done, we'll see those numbers in multiples.
I don't think they're smart enough or nice enough to do the latter, but the former I do agree with you on.
Oh yeah, they're not making money. Like,
yeah, they already knew it wasn't gonna. Yeah,
the Flash will not really bankrupt, but it'll definitely. It's basically
a girlfriend who's nice enough to let you off the hook early, going, "I'm interested in somebody else. Nothing's happened yet, but before it does, I just want to end it now."
Speaking of girlfriends,
yes, we have Mikey in the back.
Hey, Mike.
Wait, what does girlfriends have to do with me?
You jumping out windows?
Yeah, which window did you jump out tonight?
Oh my God.
Mikey saw the blue kitties. We're gonna get to that. We got some super chats to get through first, Mikey.
Wait, can I give you my James Gunn statement?
Sure.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
My Henry Cavill statement.
Yeah.
Here's my statement. I want my Henry Cavill. Fuck James Gunn and the hairspray he wrote in on. As of this moment in time, I don't give a flying fuck about WB unless Script Doctor gets hired. And I'll know if he gets hired or not, because I'm close enough to him to know. So fuck James Gunn.
Ooh, that sounds
Fuck Warner
romantic.
Brothers. Fuck you. And you know what? This is the same feeling that I've gotten over and over every other fucking year for 2.5 fucking decades, where I think one thing and something else happens and it's not what I want. And yet again, the fucking DC universe I grew up with is in chaos and flux. Fuck. Okay, I enjoyed Avatar. Can we talk about that now?
What?
Well, we will be talking about it in just a moment when I get through these super chats.
Okay, I calm down now. Hi, Script.
Okay. I was kind of trying to drag things out because I knew you were.
Oh, well,
You're
Script
running
Doctor,
late, but
I
that's
have
all right.
full faith that Script Doctor is going to sign a deal and give me the DC universe. So in a weird twisted thing of fate, what have I been saying for a year, Script? Haven't I been saying for at least a year on this show that I want you to save my DC universe?
Yeah. And I would love to be able to participate in that.
You've done work for WB before, and you're going to do it again. You're going to, Script Doctor's going to save Mexican Iron Man's DC future. I feel it.
He might not tell you if he gets signed up, though. What if he doesn't tell you?
Oh, he'll tell me. I'll know.
Yeah, you've got my taxes.
Yeah, I'll know. Oh, I'll know. So in a weird twist of fate, I just need Script Doctor. You just got to go save my DC universe. And you can do it in a week. You know, remember we talked about this. He only needs like 1 day. He needs 1 day for Superman. Probably not even that. He needs Superman 1 day, Wonder Woman next day, Batman next day, the whole rest of the universe Thursday, Friday, and Script takes a weekend off.
Well, Zephyr has been a member for 13 months, not a week. So thank you for that, Zephyr. We appreciate that. That's over a year. Stephanie Bordeaux is here and sends in a 99-cent Canadian super sticker. Let's see if what I can see what it is. Did you
It's a
put it in here?
frowny face.
It's a frowny face.
Yeah.
Oh, she's sad.
Boudreaux.
Oh, sorry.
Stephanie Boudreaux. Hey.
Sad Stephanie.
Yeah. Haitian
We feel your
Falarudo is
pain.
here and says blame Snyder for Cavill not getting his chance. Yeah, that's a lot of it.
Oh, he definitely still carries a burden of
Yeah.
it because Snyder was so obsessed on wanting to be Frank Miller and Alan Moore mixed together. And well,
people that
obviously
hate each
Zach's no, that's the funny part about it. Yeah, they do. But the thing is, Zack Snyder was not, and I know I've gotten some pushback on it, but I'm just gonna say it again. Zack Snyder was not a comic book fan. He was a Frank Miller and Alan Moore fan, and there's a dramatic distance. Those are type of writers, well as talented as they are, they're names that basically only that normies recognize. They're not gonna recognize a name like a Neil Adams. They're not gonna recognize a
heavy
name
metal
like,
was his favorite thing. Yeah.
yeah, they're not going to recognize names like Darwin Cook. They're not going to recognize
Len
those
Wein
names.
or
Yeah, it's kind of like when you ask a normie what a superhero is. Most of them say Spider-Man, Batman, Superman.
They talk
and
about
that's fine.
movies. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, he was not this big, deep comic fan. He was the normie type of. If we want to run with the term comic book fan, we'll say he was a normie fan of comics. Normie at best.
Yeah, that's true.
So, just
And
saying, that's the
he should be a
reality of it.
cinematographer and a storyboard artist, not a director. So that's what Zack Snyder should be.
Well, I knew Zack Snyder's vision was long gone. Like I've been saying that for a while. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
that
that.
was
As soon as I
definitely
saw it
getting
in the
tossed to the
theater,
bin.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell is this?
well, and you've even got there was this one dude. I'm not going to name his name, but he said you can find the tweet if you want to on my Twitter, where he's like, "Oh, just do what the Batman did with Superman." I'm like, that's what got us here in the first fucking place. was basically Warner Brothers going, "Oh, you know, Batman Begins. Just do Superman like that." So no, do not do Superman like the Batman. That'll just start the whole cycle all over again. But
And
no,
don't try and justify, it's gonna be 3 movies until we get the Superman you know and love. No, you're not guaranteed 3 movies.
That's my concern
That's
here
a
with this
really
whole
problem.
early Superman
that
business.
crap.
Is like, isn't that what the problem with Man of Steel was? It was day one Superman
one of
anyway.
them.
But that was one of them. But the other part too is it was a day one Superman where he doesn't look or act or behave anywhere close
Exactly,
to
and
a
that's
Superman
what I
before.
got
movie.
pissed about, and that's
This
where I
one
would.
here appears to be early in Superman's career where he's kind of already. I would assume he's vaguely established as Superman. People are
Know who he
pleased that
is.
he's around.
Yes.
People
So
who don't
that's
understand
already
Superman.
a mile ahead of what
Yeah.
Snyder brought us.
You know,
People
I'm
who
just-
don't understand Superman like Zack Snyder and think it's a Jesus allegory don't understand
Yeah.
that him going to the Fortress of Solitude is like when Moses went up the mountain. He comes back a completely different fucking person.
Not only
That's
that,
the point.
he's a Moses allegory because he's saved by his family from a disaster.
That's what I'm saying. Is that point
And
in the
he's
story,
not
though?
destined to save humanity. That's something he takes upon himself because he has the ability.
He's
to
just
do
to
it.
lead the people. Yeah.
Yes, he's not a godsend.
No, but at that moment, that's
Saying
my
so
point.
is an
Is
insult to Jesus and Superman.
his sabbatical or whatever you want to call it in the Fortress of Solitude is basically, the same thing as when Moses went up the hill to get out the mountain to get the 10 Commandments. He come back down a completely different fucking person, right? Like he's touched by the hand of God, whatever you want to fucking call it. Because that's the whole thing is when Superman emerges from the Fortress of Solitude, he is fucking Superman. There is no day one. That's what I always say to people. It's like, where do you get this idea that he has to fumble into it and learn how to fly and all? No, fuck that. He spent years in the Fortress of Solitude learning from his father, honing who he was so he could come out, and he's Superman now when he comes down the mountain, basically. Right?
Getting
Like
an
that's the big
education,
difference.
you know?
Yes, getting an education, all that business. Learning who he is, what his power limits are and whatnot like that. That's what it's all about. But Snyder doesn't understand that. He wanted to make him a Jesus allegory. That's why I had to kill him and make him rise 3 movies later.
Yeah, pathetic.
Or 1 movie later, but I just had to use the 3 days later thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me on the doll where the hand of God touched me. Well, I wish it was in one spot, but it was not in the spot I wanted it to. I'm like, make it bigger, and he touched my belly instead of my,
Hi, Yeti.
He slipped.
Yeti.
Jack White says, I wonder if they will do the young Superman for 1 and 2 movies. Then in the second or third one, they will bring back Cavill as an older, more experienced Superman for the second or third movie. I've seen some people speculating on this. I don't think so.
No,
Mm,
Cavill will be
no.
pushing 50 by that time.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
The only thing I could see, and this is where I was kind of confused, and this is why I thought that Cavill was safe, was if James Gunn is doing Kingdom Come, by the time you
Like,
get to the
one
end
day,
of this
maybe.
10-year run,
That'd be
Cavill would be age appropriate, kind of.
And maybe
So,
that'll happen.
I think he's just using the Alan.
I think it was making plans business. Is what it was all about,
I
yeah.
don't know if it was making plans. I just think he's like using that as like this is the imagery we want to capture for our new DCU.
Could very well be that too, but I think that specific post was just him saying like, "Yeah, we're working on
Alex
plans,"
Ross
kind
art
of thing.
he's constantly.
Well, he's only been posting Alex Ross art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is that I don't associate so much as just like that's what I think the meaning of that was. Because a lot of people thought he meant, oh, he's going to be doing Kingdom Come. I'm like, I don't know about that, but anyway.
No. Yeah. It wasn't even out. It wasn't even Kingdom Come art. It was just Alex Ross art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack White says, I wonder if they will do the
read
young
that already.
Superman for 1 or 2. Okay, yeah, we did. And then we got your Muslim uncle who says, what about Stargirl? It's got some JSA goodness. I'm not
That's
a big
done.
Stargirl person.
Just
so,
got
yeah.
canceled.
It got canceled. It's out.
All the CW shit's
Yeah.
all done. Kareen says, BS, why are they keeping Gal Gadot then? Well, we don't know if they are
not
yet
sure they
necessarily.
are. I don't think
And
they
as
are.
I-
I don't think they're going to.
As I
I don't think
said
they
when
will.
she released that
Mhm.
tweet here on Midnight's Edge, it sounded like it was also a farewell as well because she talks about when she first got to play the role she was honored. I'm like, you don't say that
Yeah.
unless you're kind of going out.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be a long. I think she's next.
I mean, if I was in Warner Brothers positions, I'd give her one last movie if I could thread it into the slate for next year. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
I think getting rid of
Yeah.
Cavill means they're going to wipe the slate completely clean.
That's what I think too.
I suspect that as well. Yeah.
Like no, and that's where I think Momoa is going to be Lobo, and that's it. There's
Yeah.
Camelbot Killer said, "I love the Superman character more than Batman." Me too. I still
Me
like
too.
Christopher Reeve as
I love
Superman.
both.
Me too. I don't remember HC in Superman 06. I'm hopeful of Warner Brothers. HC.
Now that would be Brandon.
That'd be
It's
Brandon Routh.
06
Yeah.
it returns.
Brandon
Yeah.
Ralph,
Brandon
yeah.
No, but Henry Cavill did try out for the part.
He
Didn't
did?
get it.
Yes, he did. Originally, when Superman
If you
Returns, he did
scour the
try
internet,
out.
you might be able to find a screen test. Because I think all those pictures of him in the Superman suit are from that, not his other deal, but could be wrong.
Yeah, where they put him in one of the old Reeves suits.
Yep, one of the old Reeves suits. Gabe A says we need to more upset at Zack Snyder and WB than anyone else. Yes, I think I get what you're saying here. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because Zack wasted a decade of our lives.
Mhm.
You know,
That could have
and that's another.
those films' lives, not mine. I was doing
Well, I mean, anybody who wanted to see a Superman movie wasted their time.
Well,
Yep.
no, Tom, you're right. Zach did waste our time, and here's why. Because granted, he wasn't involved with all these movies for all this time. The thing is, every time we thought it was done for, and fans were like, okay, we gotta get this trending to get people to talk about it and get Warner Bros. To do it. Seems like Zach knew it was done, and all he did was amplify their hopes. All he did was amplify their hopes. And yeah, he made them go along with it. Right? Say, hey guys, I'm past it, I'm over it. It's time to move on. He just kept them going angle on. So I'm just in some Snyderites might be mad at me, but maybe you guys should channel some of that anger, at least some of it, towards Zach for leading you on. Just
okay,
saying.
you know what?
You
guys,
and Christopher Nolan for hiring his ass.
And for he's complicit in that too.
You guys are like talking about Snyder. Keep in mind, you guys forget I'm in recovery still, and I'm still in therapy over the Snyderverse. You guys talking about Snyder like this in front of me is like being an alcoholic in recovery, and you guys are talking about touring like that. You guys are gonna go tour the freaking Jack Daniels facility as a group.
I see what you're saying, Mike, and you got a point, but also at the same time, it's like we're sitting here going, no, alcohol's bad. Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference.
We're not trying to entice you, yeah.
No, we're not enticing you.
There's
with
no
it,
need to entice, but it's just like Snyder amplified people's hopes without being upfront. He had every right reason to be transparent, and he was not. And not to justify what Gunn and Safran did, because I'm hearing that was more Safran than Gunn, and which would make sense if that's true, because Safran is handling the business side of things. Now, going off of that, Snyder knew he was anything but transparent. At least Gunn and Safran went to Cavill to his face, and they let us know right away. Whether we like it or not is a whole other conversation. Right. But at least they were upfront about everything. Because unlike Snyder, unlike Snyder, and unlike also what Lucasfilm did to Gina Carano too. Think about that. Like, I'm not saying it's justified, but once again, this is obviously the far, far lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Yep. Good point.
I need to call my therapist and my sponsor.
We're gonna get to the Blue
Snyder
Kitties.
Sponsor.
We're gonna get to the Blue Kitties very soon. I know Six is like waiting patiently. Kareen says, "I will not go see it FDCU." Well, no, that's your prerogative. Nobody's saying anybody has to go see shit. Tim Scorpion says, "What if JJ's Superman? People were mentioning it." This, as far as I know, unless somebody can point me to another direction, was just in a THR report that sources said it was still in active development, which don't mean jack shit to me. Because according to Patty Jenkins, that means the movie might not happen still.
Her Rogue Squadron apparently is still in development at Disney Lucasfilm, which is weird because I've heard it's not.
Which is the joke I was making. Yeah. So if it's in such active development, no, as far as like if Ta-Nehisi Coates is actually still writing this script, then they paid him for it, and they probably are going to hear his pitch, but that doesn't mean it's not. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, I don't know where this is what I was saying earlier. I don't know where this has come from. If somebody can point me to this, where else it came from other than a random THR report, because I even had Yellow Flash
one sentence in a THR report.
Yeah, because I don't remember James Gunn mentioning it once. If he did, please point me to the tweet, somebody, because it's news to me.
Yeah,
I just think so, and that's why I said it just seemed like it was kind of out of left field for it to be brought up. Nikki D says, "I understand Gunn's reasoning to hard reset, but no Cavill as Superman is a hard pass for me. I think Cavill will ever work with Warner Brothers ever again. I don't know.
Oh, I think he
depends on the situation behind what happened here. I mean, exactly how you I mean,
dude, he got sat down and told what the deal was. Yeah, you're working for that studio again, because if they're going to be upfront with you about it, you work with them. They care about you enough to be upfront.
If that's how it went down,
they care about how you are upfront.
I mean, like if that's how it went down, absolutely. Like that's very possible, but we don't know for sure. Dr. Fate says Snyder's leftovers are a turd that can't be polished. Nope.
Yes.
Sad to see Cavill go, but I'm excited for a fresh start, which they should have done all along. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I was thinking about. Is like we're already 10 years deep into this shit, right? So fuck it. At this point, we might as well start over.
Yep.
So
it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. And
okay, well, I want to be insane sometimes.
You don't have to try too hard. Larry says, "Who effing cares anymore? No Cavill, no money from me." Well, that's fair. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, "In development, yes, and I have a bridge to sell." Yes, it's in development, isn't it?
The bridge is in development.
Yes, it's developing. STR Red Wolf says, peeks in. What is this? Blue Kitty people. What do you? Oh, Avatar 2. Carry on my wayward son. Action Con says, was Cavill screwed over by the studio again? Can he claim that? Well, he didn't claim it in his response. So
If he learned he was not playing Superman in the trades or on the internet, he would be screwed over. He didn't. He
I
learned
agree.
it from the horse's
Yeah.
mouth.
It's still
Remember,
not ideal,
Hollywood-
but yeah.
Hollywood does not care about anybody, and if they take the effort to actually tell you to your face what's happening, it means they actually showing some courtesy towards you. That goes a long way in the industry. Just putting it out there right now.
yeah.
Terrence
And then-
Howard wasn't given that with Iron Man 2. Gina
True.
Carano wasn't given that with Star Wars Mandalorian.
I'm also curious who was the first to post it, James Gunn or Henry Cavill? Did James Gunn give
Henry
Henry
first.
Cavill the courtesy of breaking the news first?
I don't know which one was actually dropped
I think
first.
I
Henry
think
Which
they
one?
Cavill's
were
Instagram hit
around the
first.
I think
same
it was
time.
Cavill, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, then we've got Pinochet's Helicopter Tours who says Gunn's revenge for getting canceled to the rug pull. But why? To whom? That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where I don't know where this. Oh, James Gunn hates Henry Cavill, and I know you're not saying that, Pinochet. But that's why I don't understand where that's coming from. It's like, why?
Mm.
There's no precedence for it. Henry Cavill had nothing to do with any of that shit. Warner were there for him afterwards, and this is why I think he took the job. And that's what I said is because of Suicide Squad. It failed, but Warner Brothers still stuck with him, and that is, something that a creative likes to see. Is not only are these guys going to be with me when I'm successful, they're also going to be behind me when I fail. So I think that's one of the reasons why he took this job, is because he
Not
knew.
only that, the entire the love that came out of the Peacemaker series was something Warner Brothers did not expect to see. It was crazy. Hundreds upon hundreds of people redoing the opening credits to Peacemaker to
That's
show their
true.
appreciation of the show.
I didn't
haven't
expect
seen anything
it.
like that since the Harlem Shake, like 10, 15 years ago.
Mhm.
DC was smart to basically wait until James Gunn got the final part of his thing out to make a decision there.
No, I hear your script, and I do agree. Yeah, I see. I still haven't watched the Peacemaker show, but I've heard a lot of good things from people about it. And I'm sure that could have been the thing that really solidified his position. Like, obviously, it's hard. The thing is, the reason why the Suicide Squad didn't do so well, because here's the thing: the people who saw it, most of them were receptive of it. But the thing is, that movie paid for the sins of the father. And I know I'm going to sound like a Zack Snyder hater, but the thing is, because the stigma of David Ayer's Suicide Squad was attached to that movie, it's the same reason why probably Birds of Prey failed too. Granted, I didn't like that movie, but I'm just being logical here. People say, oh, hey, Harley Quinn, she was in Suicide Squad. Yeah, I know her. I like her as a character.
Did anybody
weren't
actually like Birds of
interested.
Prey? I don't even think
doubt it.
Margot Robbie liked it, and she was in it.
She produced it.
All I'm trying to get at is that ultimately,
Sorry.
ultimately, I'm trying to get at is that Suicide Squad 2016 made those movies pay for their numbers. Now, obviously, it didn't help that people didn't like Birds of Prey, so that obviously, made it even plummet worse than it already did to begin with. But I feel like that was definitely the catalyst ultimately. That's all. It seems like some people understand the chat.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to get up. So
Then we got Rachi, who says Cavill is a class act all around. I hope
Yes.
he lands a great role soon. 007, maybe? Who knows?
Mm,
He handled it
he's
with- probably
doing
not.
Argyle. Yeah.
Yeah, he handled this well. As for Gunn, Warner Brothers, let's wait and see their picks. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, same to you, my friend, and thank you for being here. We got Troy Neenan, who says, can you guys do research on the Australia filmmaking industry? Got nuts in charge over here.
I think
I
he meant
want to know if it's
nuns.
bad as Canada or worse. Nuns or nuts? I
Well,
said nuts. Yeah.
you
It's
did say
nuns in Rhino,
nuts.
Nuns with nuts. That's a totally different situation.
Numb nuts.
Wasn't that a movie years ago? Like Nuns on
I
the
don't
Run?
know. Oh,
Nuns on the Run, yeah. Robbie Coltrane.
Nuns on the
Those
Eric
would be
Idle.
Nuns with nuts.
Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane. That one.
yeah.
Those
fun
would be
movie.
nuns with nuts. There you go.
Yeah, nuns with nuts. Australia's got similar things with regards to Canada, but they are very good for tax credits and filming locations.
Yeah,
I
and for a
don't know.
while there, like everything was getting filmed there, like from the
In
late
that region.
90s and the early 2000s and everything. Like,
Australia
yeah,
and New Zealand area, yeah. I mean, there's even stuff. There's a lot of productions that are going to be opening up next year, is my understanding, down there. So it's something. I wish I knew more about the actual internals of it, but again, Australia does have some similar overlap to Canada because again, they're both colonies of the UK. So they should
on a
be
close but unrelated note, I've heard Weta is not in the like having some issues right now, and they're a major part of New Zealand's industry over there.
And they also have a standing contract with James Gunn for a number of future projects as well. So we might be seeing some Weta special effects for the Superman film in the future.
Interesting. Well, they need the money, evidently. It sounds like they're underpaying all their artists like everybody else. That's what I said when I heard the story. I'm like, okay, so this is like everybody else is doing to their animators. Okay, so we know where the next revolt is going to come from here, guys. Just so you know, it's going to be the animators and the game makers in the industry. They're going to like completely fucking lose their shit. Well, let's get back to these super chats in just a bit, guys. Thank you for being patient. I hope you will, because I know Six has been just chomping in the bit. She wants to talk about kitty people, and Mikey just saw the kitty people.
I'm not chomping at the bit. I'm fine.
I heard you sighing earlier.
Mikey only has about 20, 30 minutes because his 49ers are playing the Seahawks.
See, there you go. Well, this is
Priorities.
I got to edit, so I was going to say you guys
You're a
go.
49ers fan? Wow. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go edit for a little bit while you guys talk about kitty people.
Okay.
So,
You want me to go first or you go first?
you go
Well,
first.
Go ahead.
All right.
ladies and
So,
gentlemen.
first of all, it was a long movie. It was 3 hours. I think my reaction is pretty much what Chris Gore's reaction is. I think this is not a movie for sci-fi nerd heads. This is not a movie for those of us who are geeks. In my opinion, I think this is a movie for normies. This is a movie for families. This is I can't wait to take Max to see it. I think he's going to have a blast with it. I really think it's about families and young kids. The CGI and the graphics, from where, in my perspective, made everything that Marvel and DC has put out look like absolute horse shit, especially Wakanda Forever. James Cameron, when he was saying that, when he was talking about his graphics, I thought he was full of shit. Hell no. It was unbelievably amazing. Of course, I saw it on an IMAX 3D large screen format. I only had to go to the bathroom once. I sort of ran out right when they landed once when they left the forest area and they landed on the water. And I wasn't bored. I think they could have cut out at least an hour and 20 minutes out of this movie. Easily. But I had a great time. And I plan to see it again. I did see it in 3D, which I kind of regret. I probably should have. The reason I saw 3D is that was the first show that they had. I could have seen it in 2D, like right about right now. Because the way I am, because I've seen 4DX now. And for me now, doing something in 3D is lame in comparison to 4DX. So I do plan to see it again. When I get back out to California, I'm going to go see it in 4DX. I'm going to go see it with Max. Is it like, does it give you the rise and the amazing feeling of Top Gun? No. It's quirky. There's some places in the movie that are kind of, the dialogue is kind of quirky and weird. I think there's some plot holes, but, it's not woke. It's a family-oriented movie, and I had a blast, and I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it far more than I thought I was. I was going in dreading the shit out of this movie, and I had a good time, and I want to see it again in a different format.
That's great, Mikey. I
feel like I just made you dinner and spent 8 hours slaving in the kitchen, and you're like, oh, did you not know I was?
I have a feeling this is a lot like Mikey going, I just had the greatest time of my life. It was the greatest evening, greatest everything, blah, blah, blah. And the woman's like, yeah, it was all right, I guess.
or did you finish?
Like filing her nails.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It's not as bad as what. But speaking of dinner, the curly fries that I had were fucking
Nice.
amazing. I asked the 14-year-old kid behind the counter. I said, "Would you mind putting some cinnamon sugar on those?" And he's like, "Absolutely, ma'am." And I said, "Thank you, sir." And they were so good. But
Nice.
I didn't love it as I planned to love this movie because I love the first one. And I thought that the trailers, they all looked like they were cut scenes from the first one. I didn't really see anything spectacularly different. As far as, why it took him 10 years if he was working on the technology or whatever his reasoning was for not putting the second one out until now. The story was a little bit, Chris Gore had said, and Mikey agreed, I believe, that the story was a little thin at times.
Yep.
And it was, there easily an hour could have been cut out of this. It's a really good, strong family. There's even a line that Jake's, what's his last name? Sully?
Yep.
Says that fathers are supposed to protect their family.
Yep. I love that.
And
line.
that was a great line. It's very heartwarming. I cried. There was one scene where I actually, like, not one tear, but like multiple tears out of both eyes. And probably because if they had been like in human form, I probably wouldn't have cared. But it was, I finished the curly fries like 20 minutes into the film, so then it was kind of all downhill from there. But the first hour was a little rough. The first time my movie started at 3, which means it started at 3:20, and the first time I pulled out my phone was at 3:53, just to see, like, okay, how much longer do we have of
same
this?
thing. I got about an hour 40 in before I did a time check.
Yeah. So, but it was, I saw it in 3D, but I saw it on kind of a small screen. If you're going to go see it on the biggest motherfucking screen you can find.
Which brings up an interesting point. Would you agree with this thing? Because someone asked me this that I was on the phone with. And this is not a movie to be pirated and watched on an iPad or your computer. It's just not gonna, it's just, you'll get bored and you want to stop. You'll be like, fuck this. No, it needs to be seen for all of its grandeur, in my opinion. What say you?
Yeah, I think it would be. I kind of regretted not, because when I bought my tickets, there was only 4 showings at my theater. Okay. And there was a 3:00 one, and then a 7:00, and then like a 10:00 or something. And then the only digital showing, which I would have preferred to do, was at 6:00. But I wanted to see it before the show tonight. So, and then they tripled their amount of screenings since tickets first went on sale. But I thought, well, I'll just stick with the 3D, because I thought, well, what if it makes me sick or gives me a headache or whatever? Because I haven't seen a 3D movie since The Phantom Menace. So I wasn't designed for 3D. So I didn't know how it was going to affect me. But
I expected to have that headachy, exhausting feeling that 3D can give you. I didn't have that at all.
Yeah. If a friend of mine wanted to go see it with me, I would go, but I would say, hey, let's do digital. Because I'm sure that the IMAX would probably make me sick.
Speaking of tears, I noticed something in this movie that I don't know why I'm noticing this, and maybe I don't know who. Maybe I need to ask one of the movie guys, because I don't know if you'll know the answer to this. But I noticed when some of the crying scenes, the tears fell from the center of their eyes versus like on the side, like where
I didn't even notice that.
So even the CGI actors have crappy actor syndrome?
Yep.
Jeez. Tom wants to hate this movie.
Script knows what I'm talking about. No, I'm just saying. That's okay. When you see in a movie, if an actor's actually fucking crying or if they have to have the stuff put in their eyes, you can tell. You know how you can tell?
Yeah.
If the shit's actually coming from their tear ducts or if it's coming from the center of their eye. If it's coming from the center of their eye, it's fucking fake. They are fake as fuck because they can't cry on command. That's what that means.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the only.
So the fact that they carried that over to the fucking CGI actors, I find very hilarious, actually.
But it was the last hour and a half. Don't go to the bathroom.
No,
go to the bathroom before.
You can't miss a fucking scene. Basically, if you're gonna go to the bathroom, I'm gonna tell everybody where your bathroom break is. When they leave the forest area and they decide they're gonna go visit the water people, run to the bathroom right there.
Yeah,
that's right there, because that whole 5 minutes right there is just them, like, looking at ocean, going to the ocean, and then arriving and meeting the ocean people. So what do you think, Six? Isn't that right? I
agree totally, because everything that they show, the water and the islands, you're gonna see it all more in depth later. So don't worry about missing anything. And it's a pretty long scene.
Look, I went in thinking I was gonna hate this thing, and I was ready to come outside with the rant, because Lord knows, like I was predisposed to have my fill of indigenous blue people, but I liked it. Yeah. I really like it, and I plan on going to see it again in a different format. I want to go see this thing in 4DX.
So you both liked it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm Tom. I got to tell you, I am in shock that I liked it because you know me, I don't like long movies. I'm definitely one of these people like when script talks about 130, 145, 150, I'm with him.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
Wait, what? I got fired?
Both of you are fired. But I need you both. so
Oh,
you
okay.
can't go
Really? All right, let's see how things go after that. Let's go.
I'm just kidding.
Can you imagine, Mikey? We both walk.
I'm
Yeah, you
kidding,
can't fire
of
somebody who
course.
doesn't work for you.
I'm kidding, of course.
I know.
I know. But Tom, I got to tell you, I'm not I wasn't a big Avatar like I'm like how Drunk 3PO is an Avatar fan. I mean, I saw the first movie, I own it. I probably watched it 3 times. Here's one thing. I wish I had rewatched it before going to the movies. Because I haven't seen that fucking thing in like a decade.
Actually, what was that live stream that Jay was on when he said he wasn't really a big Avatar fan? He just did it. He started that channel as an experiment.
Oh, he's not an Avatar fan? I thought he was because
He
he
said
started
that
the channel.
He said that there weren't a lot of channels out there specifically for it, and he was trying to test the algorithm.
Well, I think he's successful because that fucking channel took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took off big time.
Yeah, after he said that, I unsubbed from it, but whatever.
Well, are you an Avatar fan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are an Avatar. I see.
I should have started an Avatar channel.
Yeah, you should start an Avatar channel. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. I
Be
recommend
an
it.
e-Avatar girl, and you could like be watching Avatar and then be all in blue.
I'd need a little bit more clothing.
Why?
They have really. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay, I know where you're going with that. All right,
So,
so
yeah.
that's our review, Tom. And Tom, I got to tell you, I'm in shock. I'm in shock that I didn't get bored. I'm in shock that I didn't walk out. I'm in shock that after the Blue People of Wakanda Forever that I wasn't checked out of this one. I am in shock that, and I enjoyed it, and I want to go see it again. I really do, and I will buy it. And I'll tell you this much: when it ended, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for chapter 3. Bring it out. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready too.
The way it ended, were you like that? When it ended with
Yep.
that last scene, I was like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Let's go.
Yeah. It was good. It was
just
just
have
it was just
zero
a nice
interest
movie.
in
It
this.
wasn't woke. It was
It
just a
wasn't
nice
woke at all.
movie.
Tom,
You remember how much zero interest I had in Top Gun Maverick? I have like a lot less interest in that.
Then
Well,
don't
yeah,
go
well, with
see
Top
it.
Gun- well, and for hey, look, I gave you my opening weekend numbers. I think it's going to be doing domestic. Well, I don't know what it'll do, but I think 220.
Well, it already did 16 million overseas.
So, hey,
I don't know how that's going to translate to the U.S.
Listen, I went to the only reason I went to go see Avatar today at 3:00 was because
How full were your guys' theaters?
Half full.
half full, 60. Well, I wasn't. I don't know. There were 100 seats in this. Yeah, I'd say there were about 50, 60 people there.
Well, what about the leaps of logic that Chris kept hinting at? He's like,
You
this
know,
movie has.
Mikey, Tom wants us to hate it. He wants us to
This
poke
is-
all the
this
No,
is-
holes
I
in it.
asked the fuck. I'm
Got
going
it.
back to editing. Never.
This is where I'm going to say this is. Oh, great! Now we're running the show by ourselves. So this is where we'll see the 6. This is what I say is this: there, if you want to sit there like a nerd or like a geek, which we do all the time, and you want to say, well, this doesn't make sense because of this, and that doesn't make sense because of that, and this doesn't make sense because of that, and they didn't get this right in the continuity, and they could have done this, and then why is this? This is not that kind of nerd and geek movie. So if you want to nerd and geek out like that, this is not for you. What I am going to tell you that I appreciated they did do is I appreciate they toned down the whole colonizer. I mean, there was that there, but it was much more about families and experience and staying together and that kind of thing than it was about the military invasion, infiltration kind of.
The first movie was, I hated it anyway, but it was a bunch of anti-military.
Yeah,
crap.
it hit you over the head with a fucking 2x4, right, Clobby?
Yeah, that's why I hated. One of the things I hated about the first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
And military bad, little blue Smurfs good, that kind of crap.
Yeah. 6, would you see this movie again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Would you own
was
it?
good. Oh yeah, I'll definitely pre-order it.
Yeah. Me too.
Ooh, wow, that's some that I think you guys are come out very pleased with. Hey, good for you two. I'm glad Mike and Six that you enjoyed the movie. I mean, I was never interested. I never even saw the first one still to this day. But hey, I'm happy for those who enjoyed it.
Well, look, and let me tell you even more why it's so shocking. First of all, the movie theater that I went to is an hour away. And so it was an hour there, an hour back.
So 5 hours.
Get in
6
line.
hours.
Yeah, I just spent 5.5 hours going to see one movie, which because I wanted to go see it in IMAX. I mean, there's a movie theater down the street that had it at a later show, but the show they had it on, I wouldn't be here right now, and I got to see my 49ers play. But anyway, so but the thing is that to see it in IMAX, I had to drive an hour. So I just spent 5.5 hours to go see this movie, and I'm telling you, I feel like it was worth my time.
Hey, no, that's good because the fact between the hour there, hour back, the 20 minutes for commercials, so you basically spent a quarter of your day around this movie. If you think about it, a quarter of your day, because it's 24 hours a day, 6 hours is a quarter. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mike. That's awesome to hear. I hope for those who are seeing it, they all enjoy it too.
I am in shock that I liked it. Now I'm not going to come out of the like this is I didn't have a Top Gun reaction. It's not getting those reviews. I didn't have I'm not going to say I liked it more than Ghostbusters because I love that movie last year. I'm not going to say it was like awe-inspiring like Spider-Man. I'm going to say it's a great, entertaining family movie. I'm also happy that the 3D didn't fuck me up because I was sure I was going to get a headache because I generally react really bad to a lot of CGI with 3D. Generally, I didn't have that experience with Spider-Man and 4DX. I didn't have that experience today either. So yeah, that's my review, and I'm as shocked as anybody. I was dreading driving there. I mean, I almost didn't go, but I'm like, no, I already told Six I was going to go. I know we're going to review it, and I knew she was going to see it, so I'm like, at least I'll be able to talk to Six about something we both saw together,
Yeah, and I hadn't eaten since Tuesday at noon or drank anything, so I didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
So I didn't miss
a long time. Yeah.
I didn't miss any of it.
Wow.
I'm kidding, of course, but I didn't drink. I didn't drink anything after, like when I got home, because I worked last night, so I didn't have anything to drink, and I was specifically trying to avoid because I didn't want to miss a second of it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm just happy to hear you both came out of it enjoying it, even with your both. I guess you could say your minor, nitpicks, complaints, whatever you want to call it. I'm just happy to hear you both enjoyed it. I'm just very happy to hear you both say that.
Yeah.
I almost thought Nick was going to say there. I'm just glad you guys came out of it alive.
Well, and I'm not, I'm an Avatar fan, but it's not like it's certainly not like it's Star Wars or Marvel movies. It's nothing. I'm not heavily invested enough in the IP to really nitpick it. Because if there were things that were wrong, quote unquote, then I didn't really care enough it doesn't bother me enough, I guess.
So,
but I am going to tell you this:
you like it better than the first, or not? You think it's better, or not as good as the first? What's both of you?
Better.
Go ahead.
I think I like the first one better.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, not me.
There you go. Interesting indeed. So, yeah, you was a fan of the original film. Six, like that one still better. And you, Mike, were you a fan of the original film, or
yes?
No? But you like this one better.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I actually consider myself a pretty big fan of the original Avatar, but I don't own any like Avatar t-shirts. I don't follow any Avatar Twitter pages or any. I mean, it's not anything like that. I've just seen the movie multiple times. I've never read fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's not
like a fandom really or anything. It's not.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big fan in a normie way for Avatar.
I understand. It's not like some kind of a fandom like a Star Wars or a Star Trek or Doctor.
No, it's not even remotely. It's not even on the same planet. Pun intended.
I hear you. It's on Pandora.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what. And I didn't think that the technology was all that. It just wasn't that. I mean, it was cool, but okay.
What technology are you talking about?
Like whatever he's been working on for so many years to.
Well,
he said that he had to invent or whatever to bring it up to snuff to make the sequel.
Well, my viewpoint is when I saw this, I was sitting there and I had the following thought multiple times, which was that this is what I thought. I'm like, well, fuck, I would have rather worked on this than worked on fucking Terminator Dark Fate for sure, because this was way better than that.
Yeah. He didn't care about that other stuff. This is the only one he cared about.
Dude, I can see why. This look, you can tell this guy had fun with it. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was, I'm a homebody, but it was definitely worth leaving the house for.
There you go.
I'm glad I saw it.
We
There
got
was
some super
there was
chats
one.
coming.
Yeah, I have one nitpicky to do.
Go ahead.
There
Go for
was, if you remember in the first movie when Jake he first gets separated from the rest of his crew when they first land in the helicopter and Sigourney Weaver's character tells him to run, definitely run, because there's like these dinosaur looking creatures out there chasing him, and he gets separated and he has to make a torch and fend for himself. Is this ringing any bells with anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, well, and he ends up there's like these wolf creatures
Yeah.
that are after him, and he takes a swing at one and he knocks it, or he stabs it with a stick, I think, and it's mortally wounded. And then his future wife comes upon him and finds him, and she puts the animal, she slits its throat or stabs him or something to put him out of its misery. And she says some kind of, I don't know, some kind of homage to the animal for, it's sacrificing his life or something like that. And then in the beginning of this movie, Jake takes his son he's fishing with bow and arrow, and they pull the fish out of the river, and he's standing there, the kid's standing there with a fish on the arrow, and he's like, oh yeah, look, that's a really big one you just caught there. And I thought, well, what a perfect moment to go back to the first movie and try to ease the fish's suffering by, teaching the son, put it out of its misery. You're killing it. It's going to feed us. It's going to bring us nourishment, but don't make it suffer. Put it out of its misery. And they didn't. That would have been a nice throwback, I think. So
that right there, you are 100% right, and that is an example right there. What you just said, this example is an example why it's not for nerdies and geeks like us who like to do that. Because that example you cited, there's probably another 5 to 10, but they don't kill the story, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that was just the first thing I was like, So that was just for you, Tom.
Yeah, that's all
mad
Tom's
at me.
gonna get.
What? I wasn't listening. I'm kidding. I heard you.
Okay.
Gabriel Knight for
I am actually editing in the background though. That's
Gabriel
okay.
Knight for $4.99 says, Mac, based on your recommendation of 4DX theaters, I got Avatar tickets for a 4DX showing. I'm looking forward to it. You should look forward to it. You're gonna have a blast. I wish I had seen this in 4DX. Can I keep reading super chats? And the answer is yes.
Please.
Jack White for $10 says, Mike 6, I am happy you guys enjoyed Space Dances with Wolves too, but I'm still going to pass and continue watching the real Avatar, The Last Airbender. Well,
and I support you 100% in that.
Joey comes in for $5 super chat to script. What do you think a smart Henry does next? What would you recommend he do? Your opinion is highly valued.
Get a new agent.
That's the same thought I had. That is the same thought that I had.
Well,
Should his agent be on the phone right now to try to make him James Bond?
No, he'll never get James Bond. He's got a contract with Matthew Vaughn for a new spy thriller series produced by Apple. That's where he's going right now. Take a look at his history. If it's not an existing IP related franchise, the movies that Henry Cavill has opened have not performed well. So he should be getting a new agent with more interesting roles to help continue to build his career outside of the Netflix series that he's getting right there. Because the last feature film he led, I think, was in 2018 with Ben Kingsley, and it only got a foreign release, didn't even get a domestic release, and it didn't even make $1 million. So he should probably consider getting a new agent that can get him stuff that's not IP dependent, that he can really show us his talents.
Brilliant.
Tommy, check the private chat.
Me?
Huh? What? Oh.
Mecca Jake comes in for $5, says, it's a little sad that Cavill isn't going to play Superman anymore, but at least he has that upcoming Highlander movie he's working on.
Some about Henry Cavill to play Warhammer 40,000 series for Amazon. There you go. He's a Warhammer fan.
Can Kareen for $4.99 says, I love you, Mexican Iron. You tell him. Okay, I'm going to tell him right now. James Gunn, hire Script Doctor right now.
Is this what you wanted me to share, Sig? Hello? Am I here by myself?
No, I'm just waiting for someone to say something.
Is this real life?
Warhammer 40,000 series for Amazon. I don't know. I'm not a Warhammer guy. I don't know shit about it.
No, but Henry is.
Yeah, he probably is.
He's done videos where women drool over him painting those little figures and shit.
Mm. Troy Neenan for $2 Australian says, how much power does Gunn have? Script?
That's a good question. I think he has as much power as Zaslav's going to afford him, based on whatever decisions he makes. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
I actually think he's probably going to put together a pretty damn good game plan. I think. Willie, the Monkey King's music channel of doom for $5 says, what happened to Cavill sucks. There are plenty of reasons why a fresh start is smart. Look at the MCU with Spider-Man. If you want out of DC, fine. Anyone? Okay.
What happened if to Cavill? Wait, what?
Sorry, I was laughing. So I just got a funny text. Sorry. What was the question?
Well, we cleared it.
Went
now.
away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I read it. Your Muslim uncle for $4.99 says, Claudian panel, if we get younger Superman, do we get Legion introduction later in his life like they aged up Hymas story arc?
I sure hope not. I don't want them anywhere near the Legion, not James Gunn, but
I doubt it.
I doubt it. I also doubt it, yes. I would also doubt it.
Yeah. Oh, I think that article is for this super chat. Cavill should do Warhammer movies. He's a huge fan of Warhammer. GW is wasting time not hitting the market. I don't know what GW is.
Games Workshop.
Oh,
probably.
Okay, that's what that one was about. So
evidently, that's what he's got his eyeball on, according to this.
Chemabot Killer for $2 says, Mikey.
Actually,
what?
Go ahead.
I never saw the Snyderverse nor wanted to. Well, that's good for you. Then you don't have to come to my therapy and classes, and you don't have to I've never deleted any of my tweets, but all the tweets and all the Instagram posts that I did, being a Snyder bot, you don't have to deal with it, and you don't have to go into recovery, and you don't need a sponsor. So good for you, Camelbot Killer.
And I went back and checked Willie's super chat, and I agree with him for the most part. He said, "What happened to Cavill sucks, but there are plenty of reasons why a fresh start is smart. Look at MCU with Spider-Man. If you want out of the DC, fine."
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and then Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2 Canadian news. Cavill and 40K Warhammer project at Amazon.
There you go.
There you
go. Larry for $2 says, if a movie is over 2 hours, put in an intermission. Yeah. What do you say about
intermissions? Yeah.
Yep.
In the very least, if it's over 2.5 hours.
Certainly, if it's in the 3 ballpark for sure.
Exactly. If it's in that 3, and they used to be that way, right? Like even The Godfather and movies like that all had built-in intermissions.
Over 3.5, I think a 3. But last time I saw it, I don't know. You tell me what the last intermission you've ever been to.
I think Superman might even have had an intermission.
No, I don't think so. In 2003 was the last time I've been to a movie with intermission. That was Gods and Generals.
Well, that's the thing is back in the day in my theater, like it was a hometown theater, so they would literally just stop the fucking movie. Yeah. They wouldn't. They didn't have built-in intermissions, but I know some movies actually had them in the run of the film.
Right. This has been, like I said, 20 years.
Ten Commandments. Speaking of earlier, I think did too. To be
honest, I noticed that in the movie of Avatar today, that the way that the movie cuts between major scenes, they easily could put in an intermission in there, easily. Did you notice that 6? The screen went black.
Nobody even knows what that is anymore, unless you've seen a movie 20 or more years ago. Even then, they were few and far between.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all.
They don't do that anymore. It's a good idea, though.
Yeah, that's script doctored my theme song now.
Daramuth for $5 says, "I'm just glad Nick didn't go with. I'm glad you both came."
It is for a rated B movie. Where's Splinter? Coming to a decision.
Well, someone watched that.
Sorry, that made me think of that.
Mecha J for $5 says, I can get why people are supportive of Cavill. He was one of the few actors to actually defend fans being called toxic during an interview that he did.
Yes, he is a good dude.
Oh, I missed a couple earlier. Lucas Garrett for $5. I don't blame Zach. I blame Snyderverse haters like those on this panel. He had a plan. You might not have liked the plan, but it was there.
Yeah, bad plan like everything else he did that was bad and horrible. I'm proud to be a hater of Snyder.
Calm down.
Well, here's the thing, Lucas. I will give you this, in a sense of, I've said this time and time again. Snyder's original vision was compromised from basically the start, even though I will definitely argue BBS onward. Because Man of Steel, he was pretty much given the mandate, make it like Batman Begins. Like
Mhm.
that's what he was told to do. And so I can't really blame him per se on that part, but he could have fought a little bit better for a better film. You could still work within that groundwork. That's why I don't give him any leeway too much on it. Because then BBS, it was like they were throwing shit at him. You got to put Batman in there. You got to put Wonder Woman in there. You got to do this. You got to do that. And he's like, no, I want to tell the death of Superman. So like that was a huge fucking, that was where everything just kind of went off the rails. Because after Man of Steel, there may have been a way to salvage a Man of Steel 2. But because basically, if as long as you just kind of ignore a lot of the shit going forward, you'd have been fine. Just because they forgot the codex by the end of the fucking movie anyway. So you can just forget about all that kind of shit in the second film. You can kind of just build off of the rebuilding of Metropolis and how Superman can never do that again. And he makes that a big point in his, you have to make it count, right? You can't do all that shit in the first movie without addressing it, make it for a reason. And I thought that would be a good reason to set up why Batman would be against him. And it's partially there in Snyder's movie, but Snyder is so bogged down in his pretentiousness that he even made BVS more complicated than it fucking had to be. Yeah. It's a simple fucking story. Especially going off of Man of Steel. You just had Metropolis destroyed. All you got to do is have Lex Luthor basically rallying people up saying, we had an alien almost destroy us. What happens if more of these guys come? Feeding that into people's heads like Bruce Wayne, which would then get him to reenact Batman, bring him back into action. Hence, pitting those two against each other. And Snyder even had the right idea of how to get them to work together. All you got to do is show that Superman was raised on Earth. He's one of us. He has a mother just like you. That's what the Martha scene meant. It was just poorly motherfucking executed. Like, that's going to be like a 101 thing in writing in like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Is like, do not do the Martha scene. Like,
wow, what a meanie face.
This is how you do it. This is not how you do it. The Martha scene is the example of not how to do it. A good way to do it would be, let me see here. What's a weird reveal kind of like that? Robin Hood Men and the Prince of Thieves. I just watched that. When Robin Hood finds out that his brother is the guy that's been giving him shit the whole movie, right? They finally have a moment where they come together over that. That's a good way of doing it. The way it was done here was horrible.
It was. No, Tom, the thing is, it's not a horrible. Here's the thing. Like, you can't blame people like us on the panel. We're just not fans. We don't have enough that's I'm going to be very constructive when I say that's a very disingenuous comment to put us on blast for. Like, you could say, I don't agree with your takes, but here's the thing. We're not responsible. Here's the facts. The facts is whether you like those movies or even if you didn't, they were very polarizing. And it's clear by your super chat alone because you obviously love them. Hey, more power to you. Obviously, I was not fond of them. I stand by that. But the fact is, they were very polarizing. They didn't hit the numbers because just as many people didn't like them as many as people did. And that is just the numbers decided that, not just a few guys on the panel. So all I'm trying to say is, like, it's not because of just people like us. There's far more people than just us that didn't like it. And those people spoke just as loudly as the people who did like it. So Snyder's polarizing. That's the truth. And I don't know what else to tell you.
And no, Zach didn't exactly write BBS, but he didn't pick the right people, or Warner Brothers did put the right people, because you had
he did.
David Goyer and
Chris Terrio,
or
those other dudes. Yeah. I mean, we didn't force anybody not to dislike the movie just because we hate it. We didn't force anybody to not go see it. It was he made a movie that not a lot of people.
I actually saw BBS twice, but the second time I didn't pay for it. Well, no, because the first time I went to see it, come out of the theater and people are handing out free tickets. I'm like, what the hell is this about? Somebody must have complained. I didn't notice it, and I'll tell you why. They said the 3D wasn't working. I think it was fine because I went and seen it the next day, still just as dark as it was the night before. I said, that's what it is. It's just this fucking movie is too dark and you can't see a goddamn thing. And like I went to see it, and I did, because my buddy and I were like, did we like it? It was kind of like The Last Jedi type of thing all over again, because we're like, there was bits in it we liked, but there was some stupid shit in it, and we're like sitting there like talking about it. And we were like, well, maybe we're missing something here. Let's go see it again tomorrow. We got the free tickets anyway. Fuck it. So we did go to the next day, to the next showing we could. And no, actually it was worse of a response afterwards. We come out of that going, we knew then, we're like, no, this is a piece of fucking garbage. What the fuck did he do to these characters? Like,
Horrible.
Yeah, like it was we're like, no, we didn't miss shit. Like,
Absolutely.
in fact, by the end of that 2 hours and whatever 40 some minutes it was, I was ready to fucking leave. Troy Neenan says should have done Martha super slow with the goat in the background playing her. Classic Snyder stream Dark Millennia ASAP. Do it on the show. If I could whip that together, I totally would, Troy. Hey, Grant, how you doing? He's been a member for 11 months. Thank you. Then we got Stephanie Bardot, who's also a new member. What level? We got a sticker for her. Did you guys grab it? No, that's all right.
I see a video coming. Where's my puppy?
Which puppy do you want, Mike? Since we don't know which level this is.
I want the one that's driving the boat.
No, you want maximum effort.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're getting a maximum effort puppy.
It was minimum effort puppy. It's in the private chat.
Minimum effort puppy. The way of the water.
So we're gonna do both.
Yeah, I just did this one because it reminds me of Avatar 2.
Yeah. Okay. Then we got minimum effort, which is actually your favorite one anyway, Mike.
Look at those eyeballs. Look at those eyeballs. Like Sammy the squirrel looked at me.
That was the funniest shit in the world.
Sammy the
squirrel?
squirrel?
I love the ending. The ending was hilarious.
The guy takes out the back door, takes out running so fast, he whipped back in the freaking pool again.
He's swimming.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, doopy 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 doo. I'm like, I just spent 5 hours saving your life. You know, I had to lock up Bambino because Bambino wanted to eat Sammy the squirrel while he was rehabilitating.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Bambino's like, hey, because he's like, Bambino's
that's natural prey for them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I smell something, and I had to lock him up, and he was losing his mind, and I'm
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, Sadie, she knows when there's squirrels in her pen. She gets pissed because they always get there's just the holes are big enough in the pen to where they can get out. So she'll go. There's usually like one or two of them that'll stay right over by the edge of the fence, and I'll let her out quietly, and she'll shoot out like a fucking missile. And those lucky fuckers, she just barely misses them every time. I'm just thinking, one of these days, one of those fuckers is gonna get stuck or distracted, and she is gonna get one. She's not gonna know what to do with it when she does, but she's gonna get one. She's never gotten one yet, but we'll see. Oh, she'll probably tear it apart. That'd be my luck. She'll get it all over the place. I'm like, oh, thanks, Sadie. No, she probably wouldn't know what to do. She'd probably sniff it. Thank you, Stephanie, for that. Larry has been a member for 14 months and says, I'm with Mexican Iron Man, F DC, Warner Brothers, F Gunn. DC is dead to me. They could have had Prime Superman with Cavill, but no. Yeah, Superman is Gunn's crap idea. DC, no. Well, that's fair. And then it goes on.
Oh, wow.
If I ran my business the way Hollywood runs their business, I would be out of business. Chili Palmer gets shorty. True.
Listen, I'll put it out there too. How important was DC and those characters too if something this minor makes you feel it's dead to begin with? It's a question to ask.
I think it's a great question to ask, Six. Script. I mean, no, but here's the thing. Like you gotta look at this. This is why I said much earlier in the show. You gotta try to look at this from a more objective set of lens, because I'll bet if a lot of people, let's just say this was some actor who was very, let's just say polarizing.
Sure.
Just insert blank on whoever's a polarizing actor. A lot of people would be like, oh yeah, they should have gotten rid of him a long time ago. They're not looking at this, once again, from a very thought-out logical sample. Once again, I'm not saying what Gunn did was right, because there's definitely some not-so-idealness out of this, but people are basing this based off of who they like and who they don't like, or who they had preconceived notions of.
It's also that, but the other part you have to realize is we're talking about the world of IP, and IP supersedes the people that are working in the IP.
Yes.
Supersedes James Gunn, supersedes Henry Cavill, supersedes everybody. There's always going to be someone new that wows people eventually in a role. So it's best not to hold on to the past when it didn't work, but it's also best to learn from it so you don't repeat that mistake again.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Because I'm not saying burn it or any of that nature. I'm just saying, look, they tried. They had a great cast. They did not rise to their talent level and skill. And now time has been their worst enemy at this point, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it, short of inventing a time machine and going back to stop it. So the next thing we have to do is the bittersweet thing, which is, all right, the characters will endure because we can get new people to play them. And if we do their jobs right, they will make new stars out of these characters.
A
out of the actors.
script.
Yeah.
Do you see Spider-Man 3 as a success? You'll see how
the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3.
Yes, and you'll see why it's connected to why I'm asking after you answer the question. Do you see the Spider-Man 3 movie that made almost $900 million worldwide as a success?
No, because there wasn't a Spider-Man 4.
There wasn't, and I only say that because one of our
pitched. I remember.
Because I've seen some comments mention about
it was more than pitch. It was close to production. It fell apart due to
they didn't have a script yet, but they had an outline. And
it was a political thing. It had nothing to do. They were gung ho on getting Spider-Man 4 made.
Yes,
that is why they ended up having to do that deal later on with Marvel to retain the Spider-Man rights, and they gave up the toy rights because it was that period of time. Because they had tons of stuff built for the Vulture already and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, again, yeah, you're probably right, Script. I have no idea where they were in the scripting phase.
The Black Cat, because she was going to be brought in.
Vulture Wrestle,
whatever it was that happened between what's his face? It was Ari.
It's Avi Arad.
Avi Arad and Sam Raimi. Whatever happened between those two, we don't know. Yeah, I still don't know to this day.
Never know.
Well, we may someday. It'll probably wind up in somebody's book.
I hope so. I hope you're right, Tom. But I'm going to bring it back to why I was asking Strip, because I've seen some comments about, well, BVS made so-and-so money at the box office. Here's the thing. Most of us, whether Snyder fans or not, most of us agree that Spider-Man 3 was not a great movie.
It's not a great movie, but it's
properly. But it did better box office numbers than BVS, not just domestically, but worldwide. It did.
Not only that, also, it did it 10 years before it, too.
It did 10 years before it, and to add, the cream of the crop, Spider-Man 3 and both BVS both had large opening weekends. When you look at the second weekend, third weekend, so on and so forth, the drops were massive. These movies, if you wanted to say that they were a success, if BVS was a success, then so was Spider-Man 3, because they were both basically saved by opening weekend numbers because they both suffered massive drops.
Well, Spider-Man 3 technically is a success. And that's what I was trying to say.
Yes, in a way.
It's more than
the money
a success.
It made.
Yes, in that sense, because if you go by inflation, it's the highest grossing Spider-Man movie still, probably even over No Way Home, I bet.
Yeah, and
because by $900 million in 2002 standards would be almost like 1.5 now billion.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a funny part. Even with
that's what I'm saying. So like in that respect, yeah. No, but you're 100% right. See, Spider-Man 3 has the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 effect, and what that is Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was the highest grossing of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and it was only because of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That's why, because the movie did great in the theaters, but it did better on video, and that built that audience over that year that went to see Nightmare on Elm Street 4. It was perfectly timed because you had the movie come out, video 6 months later, 6 months from the video hitting, you had Nightmare 4 in theaters. So it was a boom, boom, boom. It was very similar to this, even though it was a couple years difference. But at that time, they were being able to pump these movies out every 2 to 3 years. So when Spider-Man came out in 2007, that was huge. That was the biggest superhero movie of all time at that point, I believe. I don't think anything came close to that.
In terms of worldwide numbers, yes, that is true.
Because the first movie to hit $1 billion that's a superhero movie, if I'm not mistaken, was it Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises? I can't remember.
I think it was Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight, yeah. Which is actually the next year or year after, yeah. So there you go. So
2009, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. And you're not wrong, though, Nick. Yeah, it's all built on the idea that Spider-Man 2 was such a huge success with the audience.
Yes, that's why it had a big opening weekend. So all I'm trying to get, and I'm trying to apply logic at that. People want to call BVS such a resounding success, and you might as well just say that Spider-Man 3 is a resounding success, and they are only resounding success because they piggybacked off of, obviously, good hype. I'll say it. They both had good hype. For both of them, one had the first time Batman and Superman were on the same screen. The other was Venom and the introduction of the symbiote. So, of course, obviously, there's hype that's built in right there that the interest was already high because even normies, a lot of normies know what the symbiote and Venom are. So, of course, the interest is going to be there. That's fine. But at those second weekends, like if you take those, they didn't hold up in the box office. Look at Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick opened the smaller numbers than both those movies, and yet it maintained much better legs than both those movies did. And once again, emphasis on smaller numbers.
Well, and I think it'll be interesting to see because that's basically what Avatar did, what like Top Gun
And
did.
that's between
I think
that
it's
and
going to be
China,
the opposite for going back to Avatar 2, though. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think this is going to have a huge opening weekend, but it is not going to have the legs the first movie had. And that's where I think it's going to fall short of the expectations. I could be fucking wrong, but I'm just not seeing the hype for it.
I think if they make money, I think China's going to save it. I think China's going to be what saves it. That's where I'm at. From what I know, China theaters are opening up again, and I think China's going to be what makes it go $1 billion. I truly think if that's the one, because remember when I said I think it was going to be around 800 or 900, and that was before we knew word about it was going to be in China. But once I heard China was going to be playing, I'm like, oh, there's your $1 billion easily.
Maybe on like bragging rights, but yeah, that's the thing is we know they don't see but cents on the dollar from China. That's the problem.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
You're not wrong. That played a big part in Avatar's first, the first film making as much money as I did because didn't it make more money outside of the U.S. than in the U.S.?
It made quite a killing overseas. Oh, it had some dominant numbers overseas. Like,
I could be wrong.
Avatar
absolutely, but
Avatar absolutely destroyed the box office.
Now what am I wrong on, Paul? You say I'm wrong about everything.
You've been wrong like 20 times tonight.
I'm wrong about every little thing.
I think Paulie's wrong on that one. I'm sorry.
All right, enough with the Snyder talk. Spider-Man, let's move on.
Yes, we got to get through this. Larry, thank you for this. Then we got deleted scenes where I did read the first part of this before. I don't know if you guys heard it. If I ran my business the way Hollywood runs theirs, I would be out of business. Chili Palmer and Get Shorty. Wasn't that which character was Chili? That was
Dr. Volting.
Dr. Volta's, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. It's been like 20 years since I've seen that fucking movie. Cavill will land on his feet, but about Sholo, this stillborn's Blue Beetle. Kind of, unless it doesn't encroach in any way or have any attachments. You could still kind of work within those confines. As long as it didn't, like, reference a bunch of other shit, then I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how that plays out, though. That's a good point. Tim Hayes has been a member for 14 months. Thank you for that, Tim. Then we've got Gerard Cunningham, who became a new member. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Let's see what it is here. It is, I'm sure Six wrote it in the back here. I just got to find it.
Six, next year for Halloween, we should cosplay as Avatar people.
Why?
Okay, I'll paint you and you paint me.
You think that's a bad thing? Like, he's going to totally take you up on that. You know that, right?
Shit, I'll show up with paint. I'll show up with paintbrushes and 5 gallons. I'll swing by Home Depot.
Oh, never mind. You guys are just flirting. I'll get out of the way. Never mind. Did anybody figure out what level here we were at? I couldn't find
minimum effort, puppy. It's in the private
minimum
chat.
effort. Okay,
yeah, it's in the private chat.
I'm not seeing it though.
Dude, I think your StreamYard isn't working.
Do you have your glasses on?
I do, but like Six also had to send me the first super chat because it wasn't showing up on StreamYard. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That happened to me on a show last week. What you're experiencing? My private.
It was around 7:20 p.m.
All right, so since we are we already did the minimum effort, let's do a lazy puppy. There you go, Gerard. Thank you. We got Snail Messiah says, don't think the first one was anti-military, just how industry uses might and be by proxy the military for their own profiteering. I get what you're saying.
That's my good buddy Snail, but I disagree. I respectfully disagree with my good friend Snail on that one. It was the military were portrayed horribly in the first movie, in my opinion, and yeah, I thought it was I didn't like it. Even though great actor Stephen Lang.
Cameron has always kind of portrayed the military as, like, even though we like aliens, we like some of those characters. If you really look at them, outside of
one of those pinkos, yeah.
I was gonna say outside of. Oh, hey, Paul, how you doing, buddy? I'm trying to edit while these guys are talking about kitty people.
Well, I'll keep cleaning super chats. Here, I'll do this.
We're
Hold on. Let's J Doug with the
we were on
$1.99.
Troy Neenan and you just jumped ahead. What the hell? We didn't even get to read this one.
Okay. Don't movie star $5 Australian. Don't movie stars end up making their own production companies? Johnny Depp. What happens with them? They shell companies?
No, their companies hired to basically find movie scripts for them to be attached to and continue to make them work. That's primarily what they're for. There's also a tax dodge element to it, but primarily it's to make sure they keep finding work.
Mr. Tickle Truck for $2 Canadian says, not excited for 40K. Amazon deals in sadness. Yeah. And G-Dog has a $1.99 super sticker, which when I go to the private chat tells me it was a thumbs up. Thank you. Why are you laughing at me? Why are you
Because you
laughing
can
at
do things I can't. I see G-Dogs here.
Camelbot Killer for $2. Mikey, we all love you. I love you too. Loved hearing your Avatar 2 review.
You talk about football.
Thank
Okay,
you.
here's Gerard Cunningham. I finally found it.
Yeah. Go 69ers.
9.
Hey, you got a backup quarterback in there and played well last week. You might have you'll be all right the rest of the way.
Wait, I'm reading super chats. Member chats. Mr. Grant Gary's been a member for 11 months at the minimum effort puppy level. No comment.
Hey.
Thank you. You guys got Stephanie Boudreau, right? This one? She became a
Yes.
YouTube member? We got that
Yes,
one?
we did get that one.
Okay,
You're
so
supposed to be unstarring them, Mikey.
okay. Sorry. Oops. Okay,
We got this one too.
I'm unstarring them all now. All right, let's go for this one. How about this
We
one?
got that one too. Here,
God.
that's why I was wondering. You jumped like way ahead, and then now you're jumping backwards.
See, that's why I like it when you guys just let me do both.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not touching
I have
shit
no
now.
problems. I was doing nothing.
I'm not
House Atreides says, I fear we're going to get the Discovery Channel version of DCU reboot. The new Superman will be compared to Cavill, the best Superman ever. Well, the best Superman ever is a really... He never played Superman. That's the problem.
That's like saying Tom Welling was the best Superman ever. He was never contracted to play Superman. He played Clark Kent.
And of course, that's your personal preference, Atreides. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but that's the thing is when people say that, I'm just like, we never actually got him as a Superman. It's like,
I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah.
But as far as the Discovery Channel
Henry
version,
Cavill Superman quote that's as iconic as Christopher Reeve saying, "I'm stand for truth, justice, the American way," and I like Pink very much, or I'm just a friend, or golly,
who's
I
got
must
me?
have dated.
I got you, Miss. Or don't worry, Miss Lane. I got you. There you
Yeah,
go.
evening, Miss. I've got you.
Yeah.
Like
Who's got
you
you?
don't have any of those lines from Henry because there wasn't a good enough writer to write him lines for that.
Well, these people didn't have, Snyder and his gang didn't have any respect for Superman or his values. So
the only quote I can think of from Henry Cavill is Krypton had its chance, which is the most un-Superman thing to say.
yes.
Oh, that's the most that's not a Superman quote. Krypton had its chance. What kind of garbage? Oh, that dumb line of what am I supposed to do? Say the parents and his dad doesn't know. What kind of trash is that? Don't even. No. I'm just gonna shut up.
Troy Neenan says for $5 Australian, Mexican Iron Man, watch Bricky Warhammer 40K Faction Explain. You will fall in love with it instantly. In fact, stream the intro into the Dark Millennia. Troy, I appreciate it, but one of my best friends is a huge 40K Warhammer guy. He stays at my house. I've stayed at his house. Nope, not going to happen. But thank you
Do you
for the
stay in the same bed?
No.
Well, when you have a sleepover, of course you do.
No, he stays in his room and I stay in my room.
Wait a minute. When I come have a sleepover, Mike, I expect to sleep in the same bed.
No.
Fun to cuddle.
Martha.
Yeah.
Martha. Troy Neenan for $5 Australian says, should have done Martha super slow with goat in the background. Nah, playing a harp. Classic Snyder. Stream Dark Millennia.
We
ASAP.
did get this one. How did we get this one twice? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Do
weird.
a poll. Who wants to do a 40K intro into Dark Mill? No.
40K intro into Dark Mill.
Yeah, we're not doing a 40. We're not doing a 40K Warhammer.
What does that
Jack
even
White
mean?
for
Is that
$10.
English?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
in English.
understand that.
Script, Nick, the thing you two are missing is that people are concerned that they will hire an actor to play Superman who is a woke a-hole and divide the audience.
Ooh,
That's a legitimate criticism.
I don't think
Could
they're going to
happen.
be looking at American actors for this role. They're probably going to go foreign, UK.
No, yeah. And here's the thing. Now let's just entertain if Jack is right and that is a criticism. I don't disagree with that. I do find that a legitimate concern. With the divisive actor, especially for playing a American traditional based character like Superman. Now here's the thing. Now if that is true, then that would mean that David Zaslav is not the great big hope that we were all hoping for. So
Yeah,
which
that's
yeah,
true.
that's pretty much all it is. If
Yeah, good
if
point.
you're looking for a woke actor to play Superman, then David Zaslav is not the great big hope we all hyped him up
True.
or
Then
thought he
again,
was.
then
He can't
again,
be
here's
one
the-
or the he can't be both.
Well, Nick, here's the thing. This is what we have to remember, and this is what I was trying to say earlier. Is yes, even if Zaslav wanted Cavill, that don't mean shit if he gave James Gunn complete creative control. Because I guarantee you, when that meeting went down, is like, I'll do this, but I want to be able to do whatever I want. So when it could have very well been, even though we know he has complete power to veto something, it may be one of those things where instead of causing an issue, he took it as a hit. Like, okay, fine. We're going to start over again. Whatever. I know that wasn't the initial plan going into this, but it sure sounds like that's what come out of it. Script. Do you have a take on that at all from somebody in the business?
Zaslav did say we haven't had a Superman movie in more years than the Henry Cavill's been playing the role, supposedly.
Yeah.
That does speak volumes. But the other part too is it's more of one. James Gunn doesn't work with jerks. If they're difficult on set or they might compromise his film, he usually gets rid of them pretty quick. And then the other part too is name people. A majority of Hollywood actors are going to just toe the line of whatever the overall narrative is. But if casting for this role comes with guess what? Your social media, everything that you say, do publicly with regards to your career is going to be scrutinized before it's posted. And anything that we think that might damage this will compromise your future with us. And I think a lot of actors who definitely would want to play this role, especially young up and coming actors who might not have an established career yet, would be very smart to not do anything. I don't think they're going to get the who's the woman that made that BS accusation to Bill Murray and then cost them a film. I think they're going to be scrutinizing to make sure they don't get someone like that for any of their projects.
All right.
You mean Kiki Palmer?
Oh yeah, yes, they're
Kiki.
Copper Indio sent us an amazing super sticker, which is writing the number 1 on a piece of paper. Thank you so much. Woohoo! All right. Oh, and Copper Indio became a new member, and that membership, Tom, is at the minimum effort puppy level.
Well, we did do the minimum effort and the lazy puppy,
but we. Oh my God,
that's really seen Sleepy Puppy.
That's my new favorite one, like forever now. Darius for $5.
Has to go.
Who does?
Nick Weiser.
Oh, all right.
He said
Nick.
he had to leave like half.
Me too. In a second.
All right, guys. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead,
Bobby, you go.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, you win. So yeah, anyways, this has been obviously a very, very great chat. We've all definitely had quite a bit to say each. I thank you all in the chat, whether you agree or don't agree with my takes. That's fine too. That's what we're here for, is to engage in discourse. So I appreciate you all, even the ones who don't agree. Yeah, and to the mods, thank you out there. I do see you. Willie, I saw you out there. Thank you for holding down that mighty wrench. And Mr. Tickle Trunk, I think I saw you out there too. Thank you guys for holding it down. Any other wrenches I missed? Big Daddy, am I right? Thank you. Tom, thank you for hosting this great show. Six, Clawby, Script. It was fun doing this one, despite how we all feel. So yes, we are not an echo chamber here at Midnight's Edge After Dark. Yeah, tomorrow night, the Comic Shop Talk Show, Clawby, who is also opposite of me on that show, we'll be doing a Christmas episode on DC Comics Media on Christmas episodes and such. So we'll be talking about that. It's going to be great. Come hang out with us. We basically just normally talk about fun things and talk about it over some drinks. So yeah, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Central. And Toxic Tuesday, we'll be talking National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So Once again,
Nice.
appreciate your time, Tom. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to when we do this again Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you.
Good night, Nick Weiser.
See you,
Good night,
buddy.
6. Good night, guys.
Thanks for having me, buddy. I appreciate it, Tom, and my friends on the
Take care.
the panel. Good to see
Thank
you
you
all,
for
buddy.
being
Good luck, Mikey, with those Niners tonight. But that backup quarterback doing well. Hope you guys win. And
7-3 right now, buddy.
oh, good,
Oh,
cool.
Your
Good
game's
luck,
already
man.
started and you're still here, Mike? Oh, that's low.
Old Brock
Dude,
Purdy.
the first half's almost over. My commitment's to Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. I love football, but not
You're
more than
so
I love
sweet.
not more than I love the people on this panel.
There
You know
go.
what? I'll show you. Want to see what you want to see something cool?
I was telling Tom today I wish we were roommates. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
Roommates?
Yeah, like
That
if
would
we
be
lived-
awesome.
Like bunk beds?
No,
Look what Gary
like,
sent me.
Oh my, the Shankara Stones.
I'm going to
Oh.
rip some dude's heart out. I swear.
Sularam.
Do I need 2 of them to do that?
Something like that.
Oh man.
No, you just need the
nice.
one. They just stole
The
one,
one.
didn't they?
They had-
Three
they had 3.
total, but yeah,
Well, there's 3 total, but I
Yeah.
thought they just stole the one. Or did they steal all 3? I can't remember.
they
They
stole one
stole
and,
3 and they lost all
and they
but 1.
lost all
Oh, that's
but
right.
one.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, I couldn't remember now, but yeah.
Thanks
If
a
I had
lot.
like a light, I could put it underneath here.
That's
like
beautiful,
like
man.
light. Yeah.
That is
pretty,
cool.
Yeah, that's
Love it.
fantastic.
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. All right. Take care, brothers and sisters.
Later, my friends. You have a good one. I'll be on
We
in
got a
about
few
half
more
an
super
hour.
chats to get through here. Take care.
Have a good one.
Yes, please check out Clobby's channel and Nick's channel. Oh, we only got a couple more here. Dear said, if Cavill would play different DC character, which one would he fit? I'm thinking Blackhawk, Orion, or maybe even the Warlord. I know people were trying to cast him as whatchamacallit, Britain.
Captain Britain? No, that was for Marvel.
Marvel, but yeah.
Quasar would be more of a funny thing for him in Marvel because Quasar is essentially like Superman. He's blonde, wears glasses, doesn't have a mask, has these cosmic bands. Pretty much a Clark Kent type. Nope, there's a couple of other roles Henry could play within the DC universe. Orion, I don't know. I don't think they'd hide his face behind a mask.
I have no idea.
All
Brett
right.
Cohen for $2 Australian says, what we're all missing is a new Phantom movie.
We haven't
I'd
had
like
one in a
Phantom
while.
movie. Haven't had one in 30 years almost.
Yeah, it's been quite a tick. 96 wasn't that when it came out? No, yeah, no,
Yeah, 96ish.
yeah, 96. That was a little sooner, but I'm like, oh no, yeah, it had to be about 96. I thought it was closer to Batman, but yeah, that was a little later.
And with that, we're caught up.
Yeah, we're caught up. That's
Nice.
awesome. So Mikey and Six both recommend Avatar. That's cool. So
I am in shock that I'm even saying it, but I am, and I do plan to go see it again. And I'm really happy me and Six pretty much had the same kind of time with it, because it would have been awkward if I hated it and she loved it.
What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Ooh, a solid 8.
it would have been a funner conversation though.
Sorry, Tom. Got to
Sorry,
be honest.
Tom.
You know me.
Sorry to
I'm just
disappoint
thinking.
you.
No, I actually got about 2.5 minutes of editing done, so that's not bad. Andre dumps this on me. I'm like, you do realize I got a show coming.
I don't. Here, I'll do my. Can I do my Andre? I don't care, Tom. That is irrelevant.
Sound like a
Somehow-
vampire.
Well, initially I was like, okay, Mikey and Six have seen Avatar. I thought you'd be here for the beginning of the show. So I'm like, okay, they can start off the show, talk about Avatar for a while. I'll try and edit this as fast as possible. Because it is not going to be a hard edit probably, but it's still, I'm already almost 3 minutes into it by now, which I haven't even been working on it, but on and off here in between picking at it. So like I could have possibly got most of it done when you guys were talking, if you were talking about Avatar in the beginning, but I was just
Sorry,
so
I tried.
distracted.
I was stuck in traffic.
No, it's okay, brother. It's okay. You know what we had though? We had arguably probably one of the most successful Midnight's Edge After Darks we've ever had. We had over 800 people watching at one point.
I noticed that.
So I think if we would have started out with the other way around, it probably wouldn't have been as successful. So that's why I'm saying in this case, thank you guys. And thank you all for watching. All the newcomers tonight who normally don't join us, please hit
Missed
the
a
like
super
button.
chat.
I did.
Check us out every Tuesday and Thursday. We're always here right after 6 o'clock
I
Central.
thought I saw one from Mega Wing. We must have bopped over it. What is it? Let me see if I can find it. Keep going, Mike, but we're gonna
Oh, I was
find
going to
his
say,
super
we
chat.
are here every Tuesday and Thursday night, right after 6 o'clock Central, usually 6:05. with this amazing panel. Tomorrow, we're going to be on Midnight's Edge in the morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central. And tomorrow on the show, we're going to be going over the main topical theme, which will be, Tom?
I bet it'll
Tomorrow
be
on the
Henry
show?
Cavill.
It'll either be Henry Cavill or Avatar. Blue
Or
Kitties.
both.
Or both. And I think Paul will be there, who's also hanging out in the chat. I would should have just sent you the link. I think you're in the one, but I don't know if I sent it to the one. Sorry. My bad. I should just put you in both.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great night. We will see you.
No, we've got another super chat we're looking for, remember?
Oh. Okay, let me do my sexy avatar dance.
Please.
Oh, shoot. My camera's not working.
I need some, like, searching for a super chat music or something.
I'm too sexy for my super chat. Too sexy for my super chat. So sexy. Script's gonna save my DC universe.
You better hope. Did we
Script
get this
can
one
do
from
it.
Darren Moose?
I've heard on 2 years. I've
Oh
heard.
yeah, we did
Script,
get this one. Yes.
for 2 years, I've heard you and Script redo all kinds of movies.
Where is this? Where did we miss it? Oh, here it is. Finally. Good God, Gertie. We didn't get this one. I don't think we did. Mega Wing Zero says, I feel bad for whoever because the next Superman, if he's not talented or have as much charisma as Henry Cavill, fans are going to burn him alive. Yeah, I don't think we got this one. We had one similar to it, though.
I'd be very shocked if they don't try to find someone who can be as good as, if not, from their opinion, better.
I think it'll be an unknown. I do.
Yeah, I think that'd be the smartest thing to do.
I think you were right, Script, earlier when you were like, he's going to take a lot of heavy influence from Donner. He's not going to pull a Superman Returns like Bryan Singer, but he is, I think, going to key in on that point in Superman's kind of career.
I think we're going to get a mid to late 20s Superman,
Yeah.
like between 24 and 27.
Fresh out the Fortress of Solitude, yep.
If it goes that route. I mean, there's other parts where he learns all those powers on his own.
There is, yes.
But yeah, I think it's going to be that point because, again, this will be the start of the 10-year plan, and you can still have another 10 years after they act with an existing actor once they're in their mid to late 30s, because you can then go towards a Kingdom Come or anything, or an older Superman, like a dad Superman or whatever. You can do that for an actor between 37 and 47 and then have like a nice conclusion to that broader story arc if you want.
Yeah.
With Henry, you get 10 years because we don't know how he's going to age in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And no studio, Warner Brothers is not the type of studio that's like, yeah, we'll just spend tens of millions of dollars to deep fake and de-age Henry Cavill. Sure. Why not? No. It's cheaper for them to go with a younger actor. That's also probably got a cheaper price point because, again, Warner Brothers is in debt and they have to start making money again.
Yeah. And as far as this being a cost-saving measure, I know that was something we discussed earlier. It could be. If Cavill really wanted to play the role that bad, I'm sure he would do it for a lower
he'd do
price.
it for cheap. I would have no problem.
Exactly. I don't think that is that, and that's what I was getting to earlier. Is I don't think that was even the case. I think Gunn decided that this is the route he wants to go. This is the best way to reintroduce, kind of restart this. So basically, like I picture it's going to basically, from that scene where he flies out of the fortress the first time we see him, and then it does that jump cut to Metropolis. It's basically going to be a lot like that moment. It's like that. It's going to pick up somewhere in that area of the story.
I think they'll capture something of that tone and that.
Yeah,
point
that's
of
what I
his
mean.
life,
That's what I
don't
mean.
think
Yes.
we'll be seeing anything exact.
No, I don't mean it's going to be like a remake. But what I'm saying is that's about the point where he's going to pick up the story is what I mean. Like, it'll be like, okay, Superman's here, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not going to see him fly in from fucking Krypton and all that business and shit. Is what I mean.
I just want to, I'm curious about how he approaches the Clark Kent type. Because there's a lot of great interpretations of him in the 80s and 70s that we kind of
we never really got to see.
We only got snippets of it in the Lois and Clark Superman series with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain. But I'd really like to see
I was going to say with Cavill, we never really got to see him be Clark at all, period.
Oh, no. There was no Clark Kent.
We bitch about him not being Superman. He's never even Clark.
I don't even understand how Clark Kent's character became a reporter at the Daily Planet in the Man of Steel movies because he has nothing, no credentials.
Yeah, that's what makes no sense.
Off the street. I guess half of Daily Planet died in the fight that I had with Zod, so they needed people.
Oh, shit. All right, well, let's get the hell out of here. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Six. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Script. Thank you, Let's see. Klobby was here. Nick was here. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. But we will be back tomorrow morning on the main channel with Paul. I think we'll be there along with maybe some of these folks will join us as well. So we'll have to come back and see. And with that, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, wait a minute. Medieval Man says, I may have missed. Oh, I thought I missed a super chat. Never mind. So apologies if I did. What with Cavill gone, Affleck probably out. What is Gal's future looking like? Oh, Gal's probably gone too. So yeah, it's total reboot. I think this is a total
Most
reboot.
likely.
Most likely.
Could be wrong, but most likely.
Could be wrong. You know what they need?